Guys, welcome on in tonight. Tarkov Talk Podcast number 8. How's everybody doing tonight? We have some fantastic guests joining me tonight. Returning for the umpteenth million time. Right below me is Judge Drudge. Many of you know him, but if you don't know him, Judge, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I am a partnered Facebook streamer who also streams on Twitch. Play mostly Escape from Tarkov, Monday through, well, pretty much every day of the week. Yeah, that's pretty much it about me, honestly. Everyone else knows. I mean, you've seen me before. I've gone through it.
We've gone through it. He's been playing Tarkov for way too long. Way too long.
Yeah.
And next to me, joining us tonight for the first time, is Von Helsing. Von, a little bit about yourself.
Hey guys, I've been streaming Tarkov since early 2020. I've been streaming for about 3 years now. Started streaming in 2019, February 2019. Love it. 6 wipes in. Been having a great time. Met Dad Life, all these beautiful people here today in this podcast through Tarkov. And I'm really happy to be here.
Awesome. And below Von, next to Judge, is Amy Cakes. Amy Cakes, welcome to the podcast. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So I've been playing Tarkov about 2.5 years. Been streaming it since March of last year. Started streaming roughly about 5 years ago, but took a 2-year break. So I consider myself still, I started streaming last year. So
I get that. Like when you were streaming and like intermittently, that's the way I was too. Starting out, it's like I stream once in a while for some friends. I don't really count that as like I'm a streamer. You know, it's my definition of it anyway. So, well, welcome on in, everybody. I'm glad you guys are all here. Biggest topic is wipe is here. It's happened finally. Also, we're gonna have to go. Didn't go back and quote it, but I'm almost positive that I quoted the exact day that the wipe was gonna be on. In a previous podcast. That's all I'm saying. It's crazy. But it felt like there was a lot going on in the wipe, or like they did a lot with the patch. A lot of. I mean, maybe it was probably more subtle than anything else. But how are you guys enjoying the start of the wipe? Who wants to go first?
Well, I will say this wipe has been a lot better than last wipe with the initial release of Inertia. I'm not sure if anybody else felt this, but last wipe with Inertia level 1 through 10, as much as I love Tarkov, was like the first time I ever really had a big complaint about any of the changes they made. Level 1 through 10 strength Inertia last wipe was just the worst thing ever.
Ice skates.
Like your ice skates, yeah. Everyone says it's a joke, but that's really how it felt for anybody who missed out on it. It felt terrible. This wipe, it feels smooth. The new animations feel good. I mean, I'm loving it so far.
How about you, Judge?
I'd have to agree. I think, and of all the wipes that I've been a part of, I have to say that this is the best one. Up until the past couple days, I haven't really been playing, but I've been noticing people that I respect their opinion when they complain about something, with cheaters and desync. As that's something. The desync was something that I noticed beforehand, but the cheaters not so much. But about a week after the wipe, a week after a patch, that's when the cheats start getting really bad. But with my personal experience with it, I haven't played, like I said, in the past 3 days or something. I've been loving it. Like Vaughn said, the inertia at the beginning of the wipe, this wipe made sense. It wasn't like you're on ice skates all the time. You started feeling a little ice skatey once you get like 50, 60 kilos, which is like you're super heavy.
That's heavy.
and you just kind of felt like everything wasn't as responsive when you were trying to move, which makes sense because you're really heavy. Whereas last wipe, it was like you just slide like 10 feet to the right if you were moving to the right. It was really, really rough. But the new movement, everything, with queue times, with everything, I thought this was probably the best wipe that I've experienced, and I think 6 or 7 wipes, something like that. So, I've been really enjoying it.
How about you, Amy?
Yeah. I agree with both of them. What they're saying. I did notice some little things. As far as like the perspective of my character, you can notice like the head bounce a little bit more, even though the bobble's like all the way down because I don't like playing with the bobbing on. But I'm assuming that has to do with the new animation. Um, when you're running with the different types of guns, whether it's like a 2 or 3 slaughter, I can see it visually as if I was that character. But as far as like the inertia, like I totally agree. It's a lot smoother. Um, the animations are really funny to watch. Like, you're watching your friends run and stuff, and you're just watching them bounce all over the place.
Yeah. I would say for me, I think I like it right off the rip. Again, just like everybody else said, I feel like inertia felt like I had expected it to the previous wipe. Yeah, a little bit of movement soak. Yeah, you can't just AD strafe everywhere, but it also didn't feel like I was running through the kids pool full of pudding anymore. So I liked that. I mean, the game felt pretty good. I think the initial levels, I've always had this weird inclination or this weird problem, and maybe it's a personal experience where it's like those first couple tasks where it's like kill scavs or do this or do that. Like I was like in customs waiting for scavs to spawn and stuff like that. It felt like they nailed a lot of that, and at least initial wipe, like scav spawns and stuff. I know they've had problems with that in the past, and they've even said it's been bugged in the past. I didn't notice anything like that. The other thing that I did notice this, and I don't know if you guys can collaborate on this or not, but it felt like the first 2 days of wipe felt like just like static loot and loot in stashes felt insane, and then it felt immediately dialed back after like the second day. Like the third day, I was like, where'd all that fat loot go? I was like making like first day, I'm like, I only played like 4 hours the first day, and I'm like, yo, I'm climbing up towards 2 million already, and I played for like 4 hours. You know, anybody else have that experience?
I think they do that every wipe, but in different aspects. Like for sure, every wipe with marked room, right? Marked room, the first, I would say 2 weeks of wipe is insane. That's why everyone pushes for marked room right away. I mean, you get cases out the ass. And then, I mean, it's just every single marked room open is just insane. You get your money's worth out of it. After 2 weeks, it feels dialed back for like the next several months, and then wipe or marked room is kind of useless. You know what I mean? Maybe longer than 2 weeks, but that's just kind of how they do it with like vote pools. I think it draws a lot of new people in initially. I think it's a tactic of BSG's. Anyone new playing on the wipe day, they think the wife's going crazy. Like holy, like I'm crazy at this game. I'm so good. I have 5 million, and then they keep playing after that first 2 weeks, and then they're just broke. That's my theory.
it's a
Bring them
bait.
back down like the rest of us.
Get you back in. Get you suck them back in.
It seems like every wipe they go and they do loot spawns of certain things like that are really high. So this wipe, it's been military power filters, gas analyzers, a few other things, orthomonal scopes and all that fun stuff. But like last wipe, you couldn't find a gas analyzer to save your life.
Right.
I mean, you couldn't find them.
Yeah.
So every wipe they kind of rotate the loot and change things and make it so that you found a green battery this wipe, big deal.
Who cares? Yeah.
But it was last wipe, you had like 2 mil. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you could actually make the 2 mil with the flea market change.
Yep.
The only change that I don't like is the flea market change.
They bumped it back a little bit this wipe, didn't they?
Well,
Started off, I think.
The
They
basically
reverted like the end wipe changes.
basically if you try to sell something and make like a crazy profit, say like I don't even know if it's the case, but like corrugated hoses. Normally you can make like 200K off of corrugated hoses at the beginning of wipe, like because you need them and not many people pick them up. So you put them up for 200K and you're being charged 180K in flea charges.
Yeah,
that's bullshit. Let me make my money. You know what I mean? Like I've never understood that. Like I got to deal with that shit in real life. Getting taxed. I don't want to do that in a video game. Let me make my money. But I think it's an RMT thing that they've started up again.
Right.
But that's the only thing that I had complaints about this wipe.
Mhm. I feel that. I actually tried to sell corrugated hoses today, and I had to like find the sweet spot. And the sweet spot where I made the most profit was like selling them for $70K. If I sold them for $80, I actually made less because of the tax.
And that's what I'm talking about. Like, I understand why they're doing it because they don't want the RMT people being able to just funnel money and stuff. But I also want to be like excited. Oh, dude, I just got a corrugated hose. You know what I mean? It's not a very long time where you get excited for a corrugated hose.
Yeah.
And the more you expand that excitement for finding a low level item that necessarily shouldn't spawn that much, that's what makes the beginning of the wipe fun. Is, oh man, I found bolts. You know what I mean? I need that for my hideout. I'm excited about this. And then you get out with it, and you get that reward. But if you take that away by basically making everything super cheap on the flea market, who cares? Just pick up a bunch of stuff you can sell to the traders for a decent amount of money, and then just buy it off of the flea market. Because nothing's expensive, because nobody can make any money off of it. So that kind of ruins it for me personally. But yeah,
all right.
Okay.
Do you have something, Jeff? We're already here, so I want to talk about this while we're here. So Vaughn, go for it.
Yeah, I've argued that a lot. Just the fact that like you have those complaints, and like I'm sure all of us have the similar complaints. We play the game for a living. Like we obviously have a little bit of higher skill than like the average player, or even like especially the newer players. So imagine now you have newer players who find corrugated hose, and I argued that they just took away all of this excitement and joy that we all experienced, especially like several wipes ago, from these new players. And definitely it's not going to retain a lot of players in the longevity of it. There's so many players who probably can't make money after the first 2 weeks, after these initial started players. It's going to be hard to make money for them. I mean, I know I struggled last wipe with making money. Last wipe was, I think, my lowest I ever made because of that tax. It just ruined it for me. You find a LEDX and you're like, well, don't even care to sell it really. I'll sell it and make like a 40K profit when I'm selling for 2 mil, you know? Crazy.
I agree. So, the other day, first of all, with the loot thing, it's weird. Flash drives took me 8 days to find a flash drive for my task, which is an early task. Like, come on. We've got to fix those early task things. In my opinion. It should be more readily available. Or change what the requirements are.
You're just looking in the wrong place, dude.
I mean, I looked in a lot of places. I also have notoriously bad dad luck. I checked a lot of safes. I ran so many safes. Like, no joke.
Dude, I in my stash right now, I probably have 15 of them.
Yeah, I have notoriously bad luck when I'm opening safes. I found mine off dead scavs. That's how I found mine. After running safes trying to find them. It was hilarious. It was great. So, I found a violet the other day. And I was more excited about finding the flash drive that I had problems finding than finding the violet. Because what am I going to do with that violet right now? I don't normally run a lot of labs, and I have been running more labs lately and finding, I want to learn that map. But the joy out of finding those items that are, quote unquote, super rare in the game and should be considered super high value, if you find it and you don't want to use it, you don't get a huge return for it again. The excitement over finding a green card, red card, whatever is super diminished, like almost to like, wow, I found one. If I find another violet card, I almost am not going to care because I'm like, do I sell this one or do I use it? Like, I don't even know right now. And the barter, you can't even barter it. The barters are ridiculous for it too. Like, I'm like, well, maybe I'd barter it for like a weapons case. No, it's like a 1.5 million tax. It's like, well, I can get 10 bitcoins and buy a weapons case. Like, what's the point? For me, they take that joy of this game, that a big name of this game is looting, right? And finding joy in that. And looting, and possibly for some people like to make money. That's their challenge, is like, how much money can I make at the end of the wipe? Those two things for me are super diminished with this anti-RMT thing. And I think the best thing they did was just make it so you can't drop certain things. As much as that sucks for like keys and stuff, I'd like to see them adjust keys. But I like that. I don't care. Don't let me drop stuff, but don't fuck up the flea market. Because like, the RMT guys, it's not like World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft used to be able to sell gold in. and you'd sell it to people for dollars, or you could sell it to trading agencies back in like WoW.
I
You
used to
can't.
sell my golden WoW.
Yeah. I used to sell gold in WoW. I used to, no, I'm not going to, not for nothing. I don't play WoW anymore. I used to run Fishbot, sit overnight with my thing, use a keylogger to Fishbot, open up the next morning, have a bunch of rare fish, sell it for gold, sell the gold for US dollars in my pocket.
I did it in college to make money. That's how I supplemented my income in college.
Yeah. So
Is it actually a good bit of money? I actually have no idea. I've never played it.
I used to.
I've never
I used
played
to,
WoW.
I used to grind level 70 accounts and then sell them for like $1,000.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You used to be able to
Wow.
grind accounts and sell them. Yeah.
Mhm.
It was insane. So
Now, just so we're all clear, in my opinion, that didn't ruin the game for everyone.
right. Right.
like it does for Tarkov.
Right.
Especially not for you.
Right. I mean, but that's the thing is people
I
are.
would never do it in Tarkov. I
Right.
would never do it.
Right
It just
now-
ruins the game for everybody.
It's not like you go to Tarkov RMT guy and say, "Can you drop me 10 million rubles? I'll give you $100." Like that's not a thing that you can do anyway. So like, just take away the dropping, and then what are you're gonna run into? The only thing you're gonna really run into is people trying to loot run people through, which apparently
No, if you do the flea market thing, there's a lot of ways to scam it.
you could scam it
Bad.
with trading and stuff like that, right?
Yeah,
Like barters and stuff. Yeah.
Mhm.
But I mean,
Yeah,
you're
big
never
time.
going to find a way around that. If there's a will, there's a way. It's human nature. That's my opinion. Don't let the scumbags of a few ruin it for everybody else. I mean, the cheating thing, that can ruin other people's games. But, like, the rest of it, meh. And apparently, according to Nyx, she's been running into locked rooms in Shoreline, and they've had loot taken out of them. So apparently that cheat is
wow.
back.
Wow.
According to her Twitter. She went into 301 and there was like the 2 slot items where, you know, a GPU might have been empty behind locked doors.
Oh, the PC blocks? Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Oh, so they went through the floor again.
Yeah.
So
That means Mark Room has that same problem too in customs.
possibly. Yeah. So, you know, but yeah, it's tough. And it's a tough thing to balance. I don't want to be in their shoes, but let me tell you, it does suck the joy out of finding some of those rare items, whether it's early wipe items, like Judge was saying, corrugated hoses and stuff. You're like, hey, I want to make a little extra money to start the wipe off, kick myself off good. Or if it's, you know, violet card, blue card, you know, any of that stuff.
Remember
sucks.
finding a red and making 50 mil? What an
Mhm.
experience, man. It's gone. You're never going to experience that
I've
again.
never
That was just
experienced it
just
ever.
Crazy.
I did find a
I never
red.
experienced it either.
A buddy of mine I was playing with found red. This is one of his first weeks playing Tarkov. This is like a month or two into the
Wow.
wipe. Had 50 mil, ran meta kits for the rest of the whole wipe. It's a life-changing experience in the
Yep.
video game.
Right.
And they completely took that away. And I'm with
Yep.
you guys. The worst change that they made was the flea market taxing and stuff like that. And again, I understand why they're doing it, but as a player, it sucks.
I remember you used to like go on like watch Hot Tarkov highlights and somebody would get a red card and they'd be like falling out of their chair and running circles around their room, you know, because they'd be like, I got a red, you know, like, and they're like, oh no, we gotta get out. Now, like the other day, I got the violet and I was like, I gotta get out. And my friend's like, hey, can we go plant my stuff in ZB14? I was like, you know what? Fuck it, let's go do it. Like,
What's
go
the
do it.
difference?
2 wipes ago,
I
I wouldn't have cared. I would have been like,
You
no,
might
we're
make
leaving.
2 mil off of that card if you're lucky.
Right.
You know.
I can make that by farming like 5 scav runs. Like, who cares?
Yeah, even violets and whatnot. And blue key card would still sell for like 15, 20 mil,
Yeah.
like 10 mil. I
Yeah,
mean,
for sure.
yeah,
For sure.
can't do it anymore.
Somebody asked. So Dill asked me this the other day. He thinks that flea market should be locked higher. He wants to see it at level 30. What are your guys' thoughts about that?
I liked it at 20 when we had it at 20. What was that last wipe? 2 wipes ago?
2 wipes ago.
2 wipes ago.
And then they dropped it back
and
down.
then they dropped it down after like 2 months or whatever it was, a month, which I liked that.
Yeah.
I liked that.
Right.
So the whole idea of increasing the flea market is decreasing the ability to advance.
Right.
So you're slowing everyone's progress down.
Right.
Now the way that the flea market works, it really doesn't matter as much because you can't buy armors, you can't buy meta ammo, you can't buy
Yeah.
certain guns and stuff like that. So it's a little bit different, but not being able to upgrade the hideout, not being able to do all that stuff and actually have to physically going and finding everything that you need
Right.
and knowing where to go and or just getting flat out lucky. Um, that part of the game is what I've always loved. It's why I've always done a hardcore series, almost every wipe, because not being able to use a flea market is what Tarkov in my mind should be. There should be a flea market in Tarkov, but also to grind it without it is so much more rewarding. And so I would be okay with like 20 for like a month or two of the wipe just to keep everyone from progressing as quickly.
Yeah.
But even then, you know, let's be honest, there's going to be guys 4 days into the wipe with max traders and then 2 weeks into the wipe having Kappa now that it's 55 and they're going to be bored.
Right. Yeah. I think I like that idea. I like if it was 20 at the beginning of wipe, but then it lowered to 10. So if you were a new you picked up Tarkov 8 weeks into wipe, because you know how much it's terrible when you try to level and everybody's running meta kits and you're already far behind. We all get that feeling, and it sucks because we all get the I'm behind feeling in Tarkov, especially once you know what's going on. But you're the new player and you're just dying to BP and stuff, and then you gotta try to grind all the way to 20 to get the whatchamacallits, like to get Flea. You're like, dude, I'm never gonna make it there. And like Flea, like some people really do enjoy like messing around on Flea and farm and stuff. I have those friends that just like grinding corrugated hoses and selling them on Flea for the rest of wipe. Like I just know those people. And I would love to see it be like that. Like after a certain period of wipe, everything, the requirements maybe step down. So if you're that new player or you were busy because you were busy working all summer long and it's September, you can catch back. You can feel like it's almost a catch-up mechanic. I don't think that's terrible for the game. Back some of that stuff off. I would like to see that, especially in regards to Flea. But I wouldn't cry if they made it 20 again. I wouldn't hate it. You know, the race to Flea market. Well, no, it's 5 more levels. Who cares? You know, doesn't affect me that much. It's not like I got Flea and was like, oh my god! Like this time again because of the trader limits and taxes. I was like, I got Flea. Great. I've been saving everything in a junk box anyway. Like that was about it.
Yep.
So. Cool. Amy, did you have anything else you wanted to add on about flea market?
I mean, I wish the tax wasn't like astronomical, even like on the little things. I mean, I like to go into interchange and I like to, grab food and whatnot and post that on the flea for the people who are trying to get their container from Jaeger. But just the other day, like I tried to sell one of the items and there was 8 of them and it literally was eating up 2 of the items for the fee just a post. So I lost so much profit on that, and it's kind of like, well, I should just keep it for myself instead of trying to sell the items. So it gets a little frustrating sometimes when you find something like that and you're only listing it for like 15K. It's like
Yeah.
You know,
right. When you're trying to make a little extra money, listing it on Flea, and then after the tax, you're like, I actually made less than just vendoring these items. It's kind of it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
You guys remember when croutons with 300K?
I do remember when
White
croutons
croutons?
ridiculous.
Yeah,
White ones?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. I honestly, I hate saying I liked that because it's like
I like
every wipe. Yeah, every wipe. There's just some
Blind
new
demand.
item, some new item that you just never expected to be 300K. Now it's 300K. Of course, when I go to post it, I posted 300K and it taxed me 400K. So you can't lose money on the flea.
How do we feel about the new player animations?
Love them.
I love
Call
them.
of Duty.
They look so good, dude. They look so good.
They look like Call of Duty.
You don't look them?
I don't favorite. I mean, I like the change. I do like that. They're obviously investing the time to create new animations, new things, whatever, new experience. But it just reminds me of Call of Duty. That's it. So, and I'm like, I was getting away from Call of Duty. That's why I came to Tarkov.
You ever get a look at a PMC running from behind?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Look
Good.
good.
Did you guys?
They're shaking it. They're shaking it. Yeah. I mean, I think the animations are good. I think they're more accurate. I would say, like, because there was a lot of situations where I felt like, if you're really running, you're not like this the whole time. You know, it was very toy soldier-ish. So I do like that. I like the new animations for sure. The head bob thing, like Amy was mentioning before, I'm not. There is definitely some more head bob there that I'm not thrilled about. Which, you know, like everybody has head bob, but when you're running and your head's bobbing, you don't notice it. So I shouldn't notice it on my PMC. It's first-person shooter. I shouldn't notice the head bob because when I'm running, I don't. The world is not going shaking back and forth to me because just like the same thing, like driving fast in a car versus as the driver and taking a hard turn versus being the passenger. The passengers, as a passenger, you're like gripping the fucking oh shit handles. As a driver, you feel like you're in control, so you don't notice a pothole or whatever because you feel like you're in control. So that feeling is definitely different. New plane animations, I absolutely love them. They're so good.
They're so cool. So
the sound sucks. But everything else is cool.
the sound's terrible.
Yeah.
So that's actually how jets like do like tactical like bomb drops and like airdrops and whatnot.
That's right. We have the specialists.
They bang even like fighter aircraft when they drop bombs in a combat zone, like especially low altitude. They'll bank in, and then as they drop it, they turn and burn, and as they're turning is when they drop it, and that's usually how they do it. And obviously, like laser guided and whatnot. But yeah, the first time I saw it, I was freaking out. It looks really cool. They did a good job with it.
I did it at night. The other night, I called an airdrop in. Oh my god, it's so sick at night. It's so sick at night.
Yeah,
it's so sick. I posted a TikTok on it, and it's wicked sweet. It's got the lights and stuff, and you can see the flares. All flares are all lit up and shit as they pop off the chafe as it pops off the back of the plane. It's like, yo, that is dope. But the drop, you can't see the drop. It's not lit up really until it hits the ground. You can't see it.
Pitch black.
It's just like pitch black with the red smoke on it, and the way that the lighting works, how they programmed it. It's a good and a bad thing. If you use the like I said, if you use the flare in game, the red flare, go at night. They're going to hear the plane. They're going to see the plane. They're going to have no idea when it fucking drops. Because you can't... There's no, like, beacon light or anything on it like you would expect. So you can... And it drops pretty much where you shoot your flare. So you get to control where it lands. You could be the only one
It's not where
there.
you aim. It's not where you aim.
It's
So
where, it's where it lands.
I haven't had it yet.
It's where
Where it lands unless it can't land there. So if you're in a forest area, like on woods, it will put the package in an area where it can actually land. I didn't notice. I did it on a scav. I just shot it up. There was like 10 minutes left, and I'm like waiting for it to land, and it landed like 300 meters away from me because it couldn't land there because it was just trees.
Yeah.
So
No, I didn't know that. Yeah, I did it one time. I did it one time when I was in a PMC. We were behind gas, and of course the whole lobby just pushed us. So that was fun.
Yesterday was actually the first time I did it at night. And I did it in the corner of customs by admin gate, and it shot out of bounds, and it landed right where I shot it from.
That's crazy.
So that might be the way to do it. I don't know if I might try to repeat it, but that might be the thing. Kind of shoot it out of bounds, and it lands where you shot it from.
Do they call in on offline raids? Does anybody know?
no, they do not come in.
They're not coming. Okay.
Yeah,
You can
unfortunately.
shoot it, but it doesn't come in.
It doesn't come in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
And it's only the red ones. None of the other ones do. Because a lot of people comment,
Yeah,
like,
only red.
I've shot a bunch of them. I'm like, did you shoot red ones or did you shoot like the green ones and stuff? I have a feeling at some point those will be color coded as to what you're calling in. I would assume.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
assuming so.
color-coded
Yeah.
Color coded in tasks.
Right.
That's what they said. So medical will be one, ammo,
Right.
guns or armor or
General
whatever would
weapons
be another one.
parts. Yeah.
Okay.
I got one the other day that was weapons parts, and it sucked.
I was gonna say
All these-
my last raid was a weapons one,
Yeah,
and it's just like AKs.
No,
that's what they got.
Mine was just parts.
Oh,
Just
it's just parts.
attachments?
It was just parts, and it was
Yeah.
like 16-inch barrel and like all this stupid shit.
Here's
that,
a
like,
PKO6. You're like,
yeah.
thanks,
Here's 5
Cool.
PKO6s in a row. Oh right. No
Yeah,
ammo.
we
That
do
happened
none
to
of
me.
that
I
stuff.
found one on Interchange, and there was like a lot of G36 parts, and I'm like, I can't grab these things.
Yeah.
They're like 3 slaughters, and like nothing I had was. Yeah, I was like, okay.
Mhm.
I feel that. And it's like searching through them. Sometimes you're like, it's like a bunch of little things. You're like, dude, I just want it to be full of guns. I'm gonna put a gun in my backpack, like grab 2 more guns and just run out of there and not be searching for, 1 slot items the whole time. But overall, I mean, I like the mechanic, and I like having the ability to have a little bit of control over it. It's very cool. Talked about this a little bit. I think that Battlestate did a relatively good job first couple days, and I don't know if it was on them or players or whatever, but like, I know there was some long queues, but they didn't seem absolutely ridiculously long, and they didn't seem nearly as bad as the last wipe. It's the best wipe that I can remember. I know it was like 15, 18-minute queues sometimes if you were grouped up with people, but I remember it being like, you'd be 25 minutes in, and then all of a sudden you'd get DC'd. And then you'd be like, I gotta start all over again? Like, no way. Yep. And I think if you were solo queuing, a lot of the time when I solo queued, I got in pretty quick. Unless it was like peak time, but if it was like during the day and it wasn't 9 o'clock at night for me, as a solo, I got in most raids within 3 to 8 minutes, to be honest. And even that I couldn't have done in the past.
If I would go past 3.5 minutes, I would reset.
Yeah.
Just because normally if you have to wait 3.5 minutes, you're gonna end up waiting like 7 minutes. Like you missed that swipe. I maybe had to do that one time though, the swipe. Also I was playing on across the pond servers, so because it was during the evenings I would go play over in England because it was like 4 o'clock over there, and nobody was playing. So then you'd get into the server right away.
That's smart. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. No, I've been doing that for a few wipes now. Yes, you're ping exploiting 100%. You have a huge advantage.
Right.
That's not why I do it though. I do it just so I can get into
it. We're really queue exploiting. Exploiting
I'll write
quick
across my
queues.
forehead if it long like getting a raid.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
That's somebody was like, "Aren't you like really against ping exploiting?" I go, "Yes." And they're like, "Then why are you doing it?" And I'm like, "Because I want to play the game."
For sure.
It honestly blew my mind that people were complaining this wipe. Like anyone who complained this wipe, I don't think they played last wipe, because I remember that's when they introduced queue times, and that took like 2 hours. Remember, you ever load in and it was like 200,000 players in queue? You're like, what the hell?
And then they implemented the idle time, whereas if you're idle for 30 minutes, right, and then it would DC you.
The idle time thing was the best thing they implemented for the player base overall.
I never logged off. I'll be honest. First couple months, I didn't log off once. Yeah.
Right. You would just hold
your first week or two or whatever.
Stayed in your hideout.
Yeah. No, I would. I had remote desktop on my phone, so I would get on there and I'd move my shit around so it wouldn't.
Oh, dude.
So smart. Both of y'all.
Okay.
The best part was waiting 2 hours on stream to get into queue. You finally log in, and then you get it back in there.
Yeah.
You're right back at the back of the queue.
Right back of the queue.
Yeah. I told you, I was like, dude, you guys do not understand a bad queue if you're complaining this way.
For sure.
This is nice.
For sure. Has anybody played the new Lighthouse? Any of you guys?
I died there.
I've gone as a scav.
I did some offline stuff.
Yeah.
Does that count?
Yeah. Exploring.
Okay, I did.
What do you guys think?
What did I think of it? It was like the factory expansion all over again.
Mm-hmm.
They added a broom closet.
Yeah.
They added a broom closet.
Yeah.
Until I see what's in Mark Room, I don't really have much to say about it. I mean, it's cool. It's definitely cool. I like everyone's going there as scavs. I want to see what's in that room.
It's great. I think what they're doing is great. They planned, I think it's 2-3 more expansions for Lighthouse, which Lighthouse needs it. It's way too linear. It's even more linear now with the Lighthouse part because but it's just one of those things where I appreciate what BSG's doing. They're putting out the content with as fast as they can make it, and they're making it fairly decent. It's not too bugged. It's Nikita's a very much of a perfectionist. Like he's gonna perfect everything, so it's pretty good. It's just for me as a guy who's been playing this for so long, it's just not enough. It's just every single wipe. It's just not enough to keep me excited or entertained about the new content that's come out. And that's a personal problem. That's not a BSG problem.
Mhm.
That's just me. You know, I like I said, BSG and Escape from Tarkov is the best FPS game ever created. There's nothing that even compares at this point, in my mind. Um, I'm just bored with it. Like, I can't wait for arenas because it's gonna just be action packed all the time. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm very excited for arenas, but the adding an aisleway in 3 buildings to a map just doesn't really trip my trigger at this point yet. You know what I mean? It's just not enough.
I think it's interesting too. So if anybody doesn't know this, you can get on the roof. You can get on the roofs now, on the buildings around water treatment.
Yep.
And it's like, it's cool. If you get up there, there's loot. You can actually loot the rogues that you kill. Why? Like, to me, I'm like, yo, I'm glad this is here, but I feel like it should have been here when Lighthouse was released. Like, like now with what they have, it just feels like they, in my opinion, were like, gave us Lighthouse. They're like, here, have your fucking content. And it wasn't even close to where they wanted it. I think they were like, we don't have the rest of these rooms completely programmed, and we don't have the top rooftops programmed. Because all the stuff that's on the rooftop now, when you look through the scope, there was not that shit before. Like that, all the pallets and everything up top where the stuff's... No, it wasn't there. It's just like, they're like... And I'm like, man, this is what the first Lighthouse should have been. And then expanded on from that. I would have been a lot happier with it. But, I mean, I kind of feel the same. It's like when you buy one of those games, when you pay for a game now, and it's like you look at it as how many hours of gameplay did I get? Did I get 12 hours of gameplay, or did I get 50 hours of gameplay? They were just like, here, have an extra 30 minutes of gameplay at the end of your game. Like that's your patch, in relation to, the big scope of things. It's a very small amount of gameplay, and it only affects a very small amount of people, because some people aren't going to like Lighthouse, or some people still have low-performing PCs, so they can't even enjoy that new content that came out for that particular map, in my
Even
opinion.
If you have a great PC, you can hardly play Lighthouse.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's... right. Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, I go on Lighthouse now, I took a 10 FPS dip. I know other people that are getting like 70, 80, and some people now are back down to like 40, 50 on Lighthouse again.
Golly.
I've been getting 60 on Woods. In Woods, normally I get like 150, 160.
Same.
I have
Not that
like
much, though.
that's a big reason why I like kind of stepped away for a few days, just because I was getting really frustrated and I didn't want to take like 2 hours to just tweak my settings to get it to run properly again for like the 5th time. But I mean, I've got a 3090 i9 9900 KS that I've overclocked myself and delidded it myself, and I'm a techie. I know what my system is, and it's the game. And I think it's a server's issue, actually, to be 100% honest. Because if you run offline, you'll probably get... Well, now it's different. But because before offline, you ran on your own computer. Now you run on a server.
Mm-hmm.
So then you're still going to have the server-side issues that you could have on a regular game. So it's tough to say what the performance deal is for me personally. I don't know. I know almost everyone that has an AMD rig can't hardly play at all. That's pretty normal for any game, honestly. AMD always struggles to keep up, in my opinion. What's up?
No, nothing.
Oh.
I agree.
Agreeing.
Yeah, it's just I don't want them. I want AMD to be great. The better they are, the more NVIDIA has to innovate. But they just for years it's always been the meme. The drivers suck for AMD, and the meme hasn't gone away because it's the reality of that hasn't
truth.
Gone away yet.
The truth,
so.
It's not. Is it a meme if it's the truth? It is bad.
Exactly.
I wonder if FRS messed with performance overall in the game, because the same thing. Like, since I switched to 2PC again, I was, I don't have a nearly as good of a machine as you have, Judge. I got a 2070 card in my machine, but when I switched to 2PC setup, all of a sudden I was getting like around 100 FPS on Woods, up from like 50 to 60, because I wasn't streaming on the same PC anymore, and now I'm like back down to like 60, 65. And I'm like, dude, what happened? Like, you didn't do anything on Woods. Why did I lose performance on Woods? And I've noticed that on the other maps too. It's varied depending on the map. And I just turn it off because if I look at it too much, my OCD and my wanting to have the best performance I can on my PC is going to drive me literally crazy. I don't even look at the frames right now. I just go, the game feels pretty smooth right now, and I'm just going to go with that. And that's about it.
Whenever I hear optimization issues, there's always I'm pretty confident that within a couple patches it's gonna feel way different. Like Lighthouse last wipe, when it beginning of wipe to end of wipe, it just felt like a completely different
I agree.
completely different map. Yeah, they with every update, even if they don't even mention it, it always feels
Yep.
I always get a little bit more frames.
They're always improving on everything.
Yeah,
That's,
they do
that's
a
the
good
thing
job
about
on that.
BSG. You know, you can complain about performance, you can complain about everything. It's a beta, so they change one thing, it might fuck up your
Break
computer,
something up,
but it
yeah.
might not fuck up John's computer over here. You know what I
Yep.
mean? It's just it's that's the nature of the beast, and they're always constantly improving. And pretty much every complaint that I've ever had from BSG goes away eventually, except for like the flea market. You know, charging on that. I don't think that's going to go anytime.
I don't think it's going away either.
Yeah,
I think it's
I
here
don't
to
think
stay,
so either.
sadly. I will say though, even with just the Lighthouse update, people complain about the content. I don't think we really or I don't think most people have really like dove into what really is going to come from this wipe specifically. Offline co-op rates is going to be a lot of fun, man. We can already. You're talking about arena mode right now. We can do arena
You
mode
can
right
do a
now.
remote now.
Yeah.
Yep.
We can do it right now.
Mhm.
Yep.
That's. I think people. I think we're gonna start after everyone kind of does their trader grind. Everyone gets max traders. People want to get Kappa. We're gonna start seeing some really cool things come out of offline co-op mode. That's gonna make. I mean, it's gonna be a different game. I'm excited. I'm doing something crazy on Monday. I mean, that's just how
Right.
it is.
Yeah.
You know.
I saw Ash. Ash did like single shot rifles, and everybody
With his
like
community,
yeah, and I was just like, yep, it started, and that's like what it's for. You know, that's the
Right.
cool thing about it.
Yeah. No, I agree too. And the nice thing about it is, with the outside of the fact that you have to have AOD, like nobody loses their gear at the end of the day. Too.
Yep.
You can go in as a community. You can have a lot of fun. Nobody really loses anything, you know. And that's what I like about it. Some people are like, oh, it's gonna be great for Sherpas. I'm like, I don't think so. Sherpa's job is supposed to be to actually help people progress in the game. I said I think it's good for people wanting to have fun and not lose loot, or for creators that want to have fun with their communities. That's what it's best for. But it could be fun too. Like, you know, your friend thinks he's better than you. You're like, okay, go 1v1 me.
1v1 me, bro.
Yeah, 1v1 me, bro.
bro.
Yeah, you know, like it gets
Yep,
that
that
back.
Call of
and I like
Duty
that.
atmosphere coming to Tarkov.
Yeah, here we go. It's just what we need. I mean, it's gonna be here
Yeah,
anyway.
It's really gonna come with arena. When arena mode
Yup.
comes, people do not understand. Like,
It's
obviously invasion tournaments bring a lot of money to the table. When arena mode comes and you have a 5v5 format, there's gonna be some big ticket tournaments coming in, and you're gonna see people who have never streamed before press that go live button for the tournament, and they're gonna dominate, dude. They're gonna crush everybody in the scene.
Shroudy,
there's a
Shroudy,
lot of really, really, really good players that do not stream.
You're not gonna know who they are. Yeah, they're gonna
Right.
crush.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep. And then there's people like people are getting back into competitive gaming. Like Shroud just signed with a team. He's going back to competitive gaming.
That-
He's
yeah,
going
he's
back
playing
to
Sentinels,
playing
yeah, playing with
Sentinels on Valorant. You know, and I would be surprised if there's other people that were just stale at whatever game they were playing, and if they are a Tarkov player, you know, they're going to be in some of these tournaments for money. You know, like
100%.
it's gonna
100%.
happen if it's as good as we all hope it is, and it's like it gives you that arena vibe and that arena enjoyment, but then also brings in something else to the table. I think that's why I feel like Valorant right now, and I don't know if anybody plays Valorant. I know this is a Tarkov podcast, but I feel like a lot of people are finally adopting Valorant as like the premier arena game. Like people finally gave up on the BRs. I know a lot of friends that were like either Apex Preds, like playing in ALGS qualifiers. I know people that were still playing in like Counter-Strike competitive or Pro-Am scene. They're all funneling into Valorant. And if Valorant's not your vibe, it might be Tarkov Arena that's going to be your vibe. That's going to fill that other gap for some people. Not everybody, but I think it will for some people. And I'll tell you right now, I think with Call of Duty, they don't give a shit about their arena maps anymore. It's just my opinion on it, because I used to enjoy Call of Duty arena maps. They only care about their BR. And you know what? Maybe the time of BRs are starting to on the decline, and Tarkov's coming out with the arena, and I almost guarantee when the new Modern Warfare comes out, it's just going to be reskinned arena maps that everybody knows, and that'll be it. You know, nobody plays arena anymore, so it might give people
Call of
something
Duty's
back.
coming out with a Tarkov-inspired mode. I don't know if you knew this. It's been in development for 4 or 5 years. All I have to say is you know, everyone always says, well, look at 2042. You know, look at Battlefield.
Yep.
Call of Duty has never, ever come out with something as poorly as EA and Battlefield have done in like the past 3 or 4 games. I feel like saying anything about Battlefield and EA is just is a mute point. Call of Duty always puts out good content. Whether or not you like Call of Duty or not, Call of Duty is a solid game. They know what they're doing. You know, when they did the jetpacks and stuff, that kind of turned me off back when I was like in the 20s or whatever. But they've always had good games. They work good. So if they're coming out with something that is legitimately Tarkov inspired, where it's like Tarkov but a little bit more done down for, you know, the general pop,
So they can play it on console.
I think it could explode, and I think the genre could be the next battle royale. Personally, and I hope it does, because you know what that does? That brings more game developers into this genre.
Right.
And is anyone going to be better in Tarkov? I don't think so.
Right.
I really don't. But it's going to help innovate and bring more money to Tarkov, so that they can actually develop the game into what they want it to be. Hopefully.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll obviously. See.
Yeah, like I hope that their game mode is good. I don't think it's going to be, and the fact that everybody compares it to Tarkov makes me laugh. But at the same time, I want it to be good, because not only does it bring more people into the genre overall, sometimes, you know, like when we're talking about the AMD and versus NVIDIA thing, we want AMD to be good because it forces NVIDIA to innovate and create new products, right? And be price competitive. So if a competitor comes in, it's going to make Battlestate be more innovative and you know, maybe hire more devs or whatever they got to do to keep Tarkov on the cutting edge of what they want Tarkov to be. And who's that good for? It's good for us as the players, you know. And it'd also be to have a game that's maybe not Tarkov. Like, I know a lot of people like to play Cycle. I couldn't get into it. I was like, yo, this is like Space Tarkov, and I need a break from Tarkov, and Space Tarkov for me wasn't it. You know? My opinion. It was like, I need to play something totally different.
The Cycle is a great game, but man, is the PvP shit.
Yeah, it's a lot clunkier, in my opinion, than Tarkov. But I will say this, with all of these changes they've been doing to the Flea, you can't drop items to your buddies anymore. You can't drop keys to your buddies anymore. You have to play with your buddies if you want to get into these rooms. All of these like anti-RNT updates. I've been saying this for a long time. I think they're honestly going to be killing the casual player base. The guys who work 9 to 5 jobs who want to play Tarkov like maybe like 4 or 5 hours a week. They're gonna look at a game like Call of Duty. Yeah, they're gonna look at a game like Call of Duty that comes out that probably gonna be a lot more casual and less hardcore than Tarkov. I think it's a real chance that it can actually succeed. I think there's a real opportunity for other devs right now to fit where Tarkov doesn't right now. Because Tarkov's not a casual game. I don't care which, like, we play this game for a living, and there's days where we're like, man, I can't do this today. This is tough.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I actually have pretty high hopes for Call of Duty.
What do you think, Amy? It's coming.
Let's just say I know I'll be playing it.
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna give it a go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a go.
You wanted to get away from
Gotta
Call of
try it.
Duty, Amy? What do you think about it? The Tarkov versus Call of Duty.
Yeah, I don't think she's
Tarkov.
playing it.
She's like, no, I can't do
That's
it.
perfectly
Can't do it."
fine. Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind trying other games. It's just I get so bored so quickly, and Call of Duty is the same game no matter how many maps you put out, no matter how many skins, no matter how many guns. It's the
Right.
same thing. It's
But what do you think about the new mode? Do you think that maybe the new mode could drag you back if it is indeed
I will try it.
innovative?
And I will try it so that way I can give my own opinion to it, and that way I can, because my chat will come and be like, hey, like, well, what do you think? Whatever. So that would be my reason to try it. I don't think I'll pursue it the way that I've pursued Tarkov for
Yep.
the
That makes
2.5
sense.
years that I've been playing. So
The one thing I'm excited about is it will be on console, and I like to game with my brothers, but they both only play console. So I like literally, like, we don't play game a lot. We play game like once every couple months. Like every couple months, I literally download Warzone to like play with my brothers for a week, and then like get rid of it. So like I am hoping there'll be something better that we can play, because we only play Call of Duty together, and then we all get burnt out in Call of Duty for the same reason all of us have gotten burnt out in Call of Duty. It's just not that fun. I don't know. There's just Warzone is just not. I don't know. It's just not that fun. I had way more fun playing PUBG. I played a lot of hours and hours in PUBG as a battle royale. Fucking Warzone. It's not it. It's not it for me. Yeah, I agree with what Stagehook just said. AAA develop won't come close to Tarkov just because of the amount of mechanics that Tarkov has on top of the base gameplay. I mean,
kind of disagree. I think they already have a pretty solid base for mechanics. I think the toughest part about making a game like Tarkov is making the economy, the tasks, like the mechanics. You already got down with Call of Duty. You have a solid gunplay. You have a solid movement. You have all that. You need a map and you need quests.
Right. I mean, you're not going to get
items,
you're not going to get Tarkov
That's
clone.
what you need.
Right.
That's what they need.
You're not going to get.
The only thing that I don't like about COD's gunplay is you can't lean.
Yeah, I do love leaning. Yeah,
you can't lean, right?
So I think they tried. Didn't they try that at one point and it just felt really like awful? Like,
yeah.
You had to like be against the wall to lean.
Yeah, you had to be against the wall to do it.
Yeah.
And I think if they added lean, it would be really, really cool. Obviously not for controller players. That'd be, I'm not sure what button you would
get shit on.
Yeah. But it's one of those things. I agree with Yvonne. All they have to do is make a couple really good maps that have loot, have things that you need to grab, or it could just be guns, whatever, guns and ammo, armor, stuff like that. Cool, whatever. But I think adding the element of the hideout and stuff would be a really good idea for the genre. I think the genre needs that. But it would just imagine playing Tarkov and like slide canceling and coming up and popping up and one tapping somebody in the
It'd be so fun, man. It'd be so fun.
I like the idea of it. It sounds like a fun thing to do. And obviously, aim with you being a Call of Duty person, you don't want that. You don't want to see that. You don't want to play that because you're so done with COD. But like, look at it from my perspective. I'm done with Tarkov, so I'm like, hell yeah, this COD thing, like, it's looking pretty good,
Yeah.
Dude, I'm one of the few guys I feel like that's like I miss pre-inertia fights. I remember I talked to a reporter about it. I was like, dude, I used to love those jiggle peaks and like it felt like there was a real solid skill ceiling. You know what I mean? Where like if you played a lot, you can 90% of the time win your fights against guys, even if they're holding an angle. I don't feel like that's the case anymore. Even like slow peaks, they like to expose more. It's a little bit harder. Everyone kind of gets the slow peak, but it's I love those fast paced fights that we used to have early on. Labs, dude, just hard swinging, jiggle peeking. I liked it personally.
I liked the jiggle peeking stuff.
Too, but
I didn't have a problem with. Well, the one thing that I did that I hated was like if you weren't a hard grinder, is like you'd go into dorms and there'd be like some like two Chads with 60 round mags, and they didn't it was by volume. They didn't jiggle peek or nothing. They just AD strafed the whole hallway while mag dumping, and you had nowhere to go. It was just like point fire, like just Rambo style, just shooting away down the hallway, and they'd kill you because they had 995, they had 60 round mags, and they would just go like they would just go AD. But like that skill set, no. But like the jiggle peek and stuff, I do feel like there was a little bit of skill set or jumping. Like I mean, you could still kind of jump the doorways and stuff, but not like you used to be able to like locate somebody or stuff like that. It'll be interesting to see what max strength looks like with this current rendition of inertia.
Well, they nerfed max strength from 35% to 15%.
They
nerfed the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
Right.
So max strength isn't going to be that big of a deal anymore. Inertia or endurance. I'm not sure what they did with that, but there was another one, perception. Perception they nerfed from 35% to 15% as well.
Right.
So you're not going to be able to hear that 20% more.
Scales
like
differently too. It scales less too.
Yeah. So like the distance that has to do with your distance. So the 20% less distance being able to be heard when you have max perception, which is a lot.
Can we talk about sound? How do you guys feel about sound right now?
It's awful.
I haven't had any real like significant issues like so I don't, but then again I am not someone to push fights constantly. I definitely am more tactical. I'd like to try and like know
Hmm.
where things are. Um, so I haven't come across too many significant issues.
I think I swapped to GSH, GS, what are they called? GSHs
Yeah.
exclusively, the
Mhm.
ones from Frapper, because
Hmm.
it's louder. Swipe. I can't tell you how many times I'm wearing M32s, which was my go-to last swipe, and people just walk up to me, and I just have no idea. God forbid it's raining. I mean, we all understand it's raining. It's loud. This is happening without rain. This
Yeah.
swipe, it's quiet. People are quiet, man.
People.
And
Um,
that's that 20% reduction. You know.
yep,
Yeah.
yep. You can tell. You can definitely tell. What do
Hmm.
you guys think about vertical audio? I might as well ask.
There is none.
There
What are you
isn't
talking
any.
about? What is vertical audio?
I dude, I've always been I feel like the lone wolf in saying that I actually like the vertical audio, mainly because I never watched Veritas's video. I don't know what actual science is behind it, what actually was done, but I always felt that I could hear people above me. Like if you hear someone sprinting above you, especially sprinting, you hear them. It's like muffled footsteps, but you will never hear them sprinting below you for the most part. I don't, at least. I don't think I ever really hear people below me. Stereo audio is bad, but at the same time, it's like if you live in an apartment, yeah, I always hear people above me. I don't care if they're sneaking across their apartment. You hear them down below.
Mhm.
You'll never hear them. I think they nailed that aspect. Stereo audio, like level of audio when it's transitioning, that's bugged. Like halfway up the stairs is the floor above you audio. Like if you're on like on the actual like the platform, yeah,
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
the floor
The
above
audio.
you.
The
It's
audio
super
cue
weird.
changes on a
Super
weird
awkward.
spot on stairwells for sure. It's like
That's my problem with
it's like a
audio.
switch on the
That's a-
stairwell.
That's a Unity issue. That has to
Oh,
do with
okay,
the
okay.
game engine. Yeah.
Okay.
The game engine itself is not good for vertical audio. It's known for
Mm.
that. Um,
Um.
and then implementing Steam audio into Unity, which I don't know if they knew this when they did it, but it's actually completely fucked. Like they don't work together. And so like bringing Steam into it actually was bad. And they actually talk about that on the last podcast, or maybe it was 2 podcasts ago, but they were like, yeah, Steam audio, we're gonna have to figure something else out because it's not working.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, and the sad part is for me, Steam audio works better. Binaural works better than having it
You use
off.
it? Wow.
I use mine. Yeah, I use mine.
If I have it off,
use
there's
mine
so
so long.
and it's I think it is. It's a Unity coding issue. Like if I don't have it on, there's times where I hear shit and it's like it's fucking 50 meters behind me, and I'm looking in front of me doing like this out of a window, and I'm like, the hell's going on?
It sounds like it's like 2 feet from you. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the reason why I
Wow.
have it on. It's because when I switched it to off, finally, after trying it for so long, I was like, no, I can't tell how far away they are.
Yeah,
Like this
I
guy
can
sounds
hear
like
the
he's
sound.
like right here.
Yeah.
And I go and he's like 20 meters out there, and I'm dead because I looked right in the corner. You know.
Yeah.
I hope that's not
So-
my issue. I'm just gonna turn it on real quick.
But
But you guys might have fixed my audio issues for the wife.
this is my feelings on the audio. They added a bunch of new audio cues. And if you're an experienced player and
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what that audio cue is, it's going to help you it's going to help you overcome shitty audio. Like I always know like the resort mains were always like, I know exactly where people are in resort because they just knew like every last like
wooden rooms,
which
all that
wooden
stuff.
rooms there were, where the barbed wire is, all of that shit, like metal stairs, metal in the hallway, tile. They knew that, and they use it to their advantage. And it's like now you can hear when people are on stairs a lot better, and you know that they're on stairs now. Like you can the metal sounds and the wooden pallet crate sounds, like those sounds are all good, and you can use them to make up for like, oh, vertical audio. No, I heard that little bit of barbed wire. Oh, that wasn't the barbed wire. That was a metal plate. Now there's a difference in that sound, so you know what they're going over. So it's almost like, and I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with the audio cues, but it's almost like trying to put a Band-Aid on bad audio by saying, hey, now you can differentiate where the bad audio is because there's different sound cues for it. I do like the new sound cues. So, and, Stage Show and Chan just said he knows based off of the finishing audio of what they step on. And that's it, too. They just gave you more different audios for where they're stepping for you to figure out where they are. It's not because the audio is good, it's just because you're like, oh, they're on the metal stairs. Because before, sometimes in, like, dorms, it would be like, they're on stairs. You're like, which ones? They're like, I don't know, fucking some stairs. They're on a staircase somewhere. And now it's like, well, now I know if they're on the metal stairs or if they're in the middle staircase and stuff like that, because sometimes the audio would sound the same. You're like, I think somebody's on stairs. So you're like, I don't know which ones, but they're on some sort of stairs because I can hear the audio kind of queuing up and down somehow. You know, so I do think I do like the new cues.
I feel like with the new metal sound for stairs, how it's a lot deeper.
Mm-hmm.
I almost feel like it's quieter too, to where if you're from outside pushing in, you have a much better opportunity to kind of just run in. It's a lot more subtle than just the super. I feel like it was just a higher pitched metal sound from before. Um, I think it needed that because how many times you just walk into dorms in second floor, third floor, and somebody just head taps you instantly because they heard from all the way from marked room to ice cream side, they heard the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I feel like I can run up on third floor now if someone's in marked and they just won't hear me now. That may be a perception update, but I just feel like with the bassier metal, it sounds a lot better and it's a lot easier to push.
Yeah. I think there's some audio bugs going on, like the shots and stuff that you keep hearing, or the flashbangs that we had at the beginning of what was it when they did the big update when they added the DLSS. You guys remember there was like flash nades that were just going off in raids like constantly?
Yeah.
Were those confirmed bugs? Was that a confirmed bug? I always thought that was just people shooting.
No. I think there was a bug that happened for that during that time.
Oh.
But I had a couple raids the other day where it was like somebody was just shooting the entire raid. And I was like, dude, is it? And it's happened to me, especially on woods. It's happened to me a bunch. And I'm like, there's no way somebody is literally still shooting down by outskirts. Like, there's no way. There's not 50 scavs down there that somebody's shooting at. There's gotta be like a bug. Has anybody else run across that?
I know scavs randomly shot last wipe at like gas station.
Yeah, I remember that. But I mean,
I'm not sure if that's. That might have been the case where scavs are just randomly popping shots off because I did see that. I did find a scav just randomly shooting.
When I went to outskirts, there was nothing there, Vaughn. There was nothing alive. Nothing at all.
Yeah, I don't know.
I get the VoIP clipping. Like, it sounds like somebody
I get that.
VoIP. And I'm like looking around and I'm like, there's nobody around me, but I heard it.
I get that. Key bug too. The key bug.
Yeah, key bug once in a while. Sure.
I don't think I've had that this wipe. I've had other people had it that I played with.
I've
yeah,
had
the key bug.
I had it today.
Did you? It might be back. I don't know.
All right. Next topic I want to get into is kind of a multi-layered topic here. Desync, hit reg, or is it something else? You guys, I know everybody's experiencing some desync. I know some people are complaining about it. Like Judge said on Twitter, there's been a lot of talk about it the last couple days, right? A lot of people are saying, "Oh, what's with this desync? I've died behind some walls. Everybody has." Is it desync or is it because they raised ping to 200 now before you get kicked, or both?
Man, I think it's. I mean, I guess you can call it both. I definitely think it's desync though. Desync definitely feels worse, where you're farther from the wall than you were last wipe for sure when you're dying. You know what I mean?
So, from the way that I understand how servers work, and this is a very rudimentary understanding of servers. If someone is on the server with really, really high ping, 190, whatever, like say Pest is playing on California, that is going to make every player that's playing on normal ping have desync issues.
Right.
So it can, especially with the Unity and the way that the netcode is set up for Tarkov. Like Nikita's came out and said that, like, high ping causes desync in Tarkov. So there's a lot of things that could be going wrong. I personally think it's the high ping limit.
I think it might be a high ping limit too.
And what are you gonna do? You know, it's cool. I can play with my Australian friends now. I really like that. When I first started playing this game, I played with Australian people all the time.
Yeah.
So I get to play with the people that I'd like learned how to play the game on now. But you look at the desync problems people are having, and again, we don't know if that's what's causing it. That's my speculation. That's what it is. But it's, I don't know. It's bad. It's real bad. The other day I died. I was literally behind a guy. I sprinted past him in dorms.
When it happens, it feels bad.
And I was shooting him, and then I died. And I was literally looking at his back, and I put like 10 rounds into him. It was like the worst desync that I've had playing Tarkov, and there was no other guy because I killed the other guy. And yeah,
It's like a small
it
flex.
no, I mean, yes, yeah, but like no, I'd like like somebody's gonna see the clip and be like, oh, there was another guy. It's like, no, he was dead.
Mhm.
I killed him. I
Yeah.
killed him.
Um, I feel like for me, and this has happened. I went back and I've literally looked at VOD stuff, and I've literally watched me paint blood on the back wall with somebody's blood that I shot, and then die, and then get outraged and be like, you hit him 3 times for 45 damage, and I'm like, no, that doesn't make like just like raiders do like the double and triple hits. I feel like I'm doing like 10% hits sometimes. It's like something is wrong in the code, in my opinion. Sometimes, like whether it's recognizing level 2 armor as level 10 armor or whatever it is, because it's not recognizing as that. I went for this big play the other day, and it's funny. It sucked. I laughed about it, but I walked up to a dude. He was naked, and I was gonna shoot him in the head, and then he was just laying there, and he was a naked boy. So I go, you know what? I'm gonna go for my first melee kill to wipe on this guy. He was laying there. I walk up. I go, bink. You could see the blood in his head. I go, bink. You could see the blood in his head. I go, bink. You could see the blood in his head. He gets up and shoots me. And it says 3 hits for 25 damage. And I'm like, yo, my axe does 25 damage per swing. I hit this guy in the head 3 times. You could see the blood on his head and on my axe that went splurt as I hit him. And that's happened to me with guns, too. Like, literally drop a mag into somebody, and there's blood and a line down, like, a wall where I was shooting them in customs. And then they just, like, walk it off and then shoot me. And it'll be like, oh, you hit them for 70 damage. You're like, there's no way. Like, I hit them with, like, PS ammo. What is the flesh damage and everything else on that? You, like, do the math in your head. You're like, 8 times for this much damage. Like, what's going on there? I've run into that, and I wonder if on top of desync there is some sort of weird coding error when it's actually registering, not necessarily even registering the hits, because the hits are spending blood out of the back of the guy, but it's not registering the proper damage. I think that's an issue. And I don't know if you guys would agree with me or not. Vaughn, Amy?
I haven't had that problem. But I honest to God, Dad, I don't look at the after screen report for how much damage and stuff I do 99% of the time. So could it be a problem?
Is it like a rage thing? It's like a rage click thing. Like, you just click past it.
Or could just be,
I don't know if it's muscle memory. Like I don't like.
or
So
just
just go into a background of a Facebook streamer. The longer I'm out of raid, the less viewers I have. Period.
Mm.
Because people can't idly watch. They can't like do other stuff on their phone. So like if you're not doing something like super productive, like in the actual game itself, you lose viewers like it tanks. Like half of my viewers will be gone if I'm doing inventory management. And then when I get into a raid, they come back.
Oh, wow.
So when I'm doing stuff after raid, in raid, I'm literally going as fast as I humanly can. You know what I mean? So that's just like one slight difference from platform to platform. When I'm on Twitch, I literally just jam out on music half the time anyway. So, but yeah, muscle memory. That's what I'm going to call that. It's just I click really fast.
Amy, how about you? Have you run into that sort of issue?
No, I haven't, honestly. No, like, no, I can't really say because I've kind of been favoring the Keter this wipe, so I've been,
Ooh, Keter gang.
I ran some Keter Woods raids. They were fun. I tanked. I've tanked like 3 grenades this wipe too, and I almost felt bad for the other guy. I was like, I should be dead. I tanked a nade the other day
Nades have always
at
been
my
weird.
foot. Yeah, they've always. Yeah, I remember.
You can literally see the nade animation go to your foot and it explode, and you don't take any damage.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Like I looked at it, like looked down, and I'm like, oh, I'm dead. And then it blows up and nothing happens.
Or like
kind of where it's like above me, and the same thing. I'm like, it's literally right above me. I see the animation falling on me, and like it explodes. But
right. Yeah.
I'm fine. I'm like,
Right.
okay,
It's
cool.
like an impact nade that actually physically hits you, but it's not impact nade, so it doesn't kill you.
Like somebody
You know?
somebody threw a deflated football at you.
Yeah.
That was a Tom Brady joke. All right. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, that's definitely an issue, and what it comes from. I mean, meh. But I think sitting there and complaining about it all the time is just like, take a break, or kind of move on. It's just the state of the game right now, and I think you just get used to it and just move on to the next one. My opinion. I get mad about it. I'm like, oh, and then I go, all right, next one, because it's not going to change. You know. Cheaters. Have you guys run into cheaters this wipe?
I don't think I've ran into one this wipe. I mean, there's guys where I'm like, wow, that was a little suspicious. I think I've reported one guy this wipe.
I've reported 2 guys, and I know for a fact one was cheating. The other one, I was like, it's probably desync, but why not? He was a white.
Let be his. Yeah.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. Some of those are tough. Some of those tough. The desync ones are tough. You're like, how did he know? How did he come around the corner and flick on me? It's like, actually, for him, he walked around the corner very slowly, turned at you, slowly shot, but to you, it looked like half a second.
There looking with your thumb up your ass.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome to desync. Yeah, for sure. I've run into some of those.
I had a raid going into a factory, and this one guy with a shotgun, I want to say he was using grizzlies, just killed our 5-man. It was one dude. He just went around the map and just and
Landmark Live.
No, and then,
to make sure.
Then he messaged me and was like, "Nice job camping extract," and I was like, "What?"
Okay.
Yeah. I've run into a couple occasions of it. They were definitely 100% cheating. Like, I was sitting behind a wall, guy walks up, he's across the way, and he's just like, doesn't realize that there's a wall there, and he's just slamming this wall. And eventually I'm like, I have to move, and he ended up catching me. And I've run from a couple too, and gotten away from 1 or 2 of them this wipe, where it's just like, there's no way this guy knows that I'm here. There's no way. So I would say I probably run into like 2 or 3 definites, and maybe 1 or 2 that I was like awfully suspicious. But I mean, yeah, there's been plenty of them that I'm like, I think he was cheating, and then I'm like, you know what? After I got out, like after I thought about it for 10 seconds, I'm like, yeah, it was probably just desync. But I would say cheaters are definitely out there.
Yeah, they're always going to be out there. I mean, every wipe, you go on Twitter and people are like, guys, there are too many cheaters on labs. Like, it's the first week of wipe. They're always on.
Right.
Duh.
Right.
Duh. They're always on
labs.
labs.
They get there
It
first.
sucks. I wish they weren't. But they're always going to be on labs. You're always going to go to, especially first couple weeks, man.
Early wipe, they're going to go where the loot's at.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, last wipe, it was not labs.
Mm-mm.
It was Lighthouse. Because they took all of the fucking loot from every fucking map and put it on Lighthouse. They took it away from Interchange, they took it away from Reserve, they took it away from Shoreline, and they put it on Lighthouse. So you had to play Lighthouse if you wanted to make money.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
Right.
And so that's where all the cheaters went. And that's what I say every single wipe. Where are you going? Where the loot's not.
Right. Yeah.
Because I hate running into cheaters. That's like my least favorite thing. So I'll just go be steady on my woods, make, a mill a run. You know what I mean? And just steady making money. You guys can make your 3 mil on 1 run and dive to 4 times to a cheater. That's fine.
Yeah. I know. It's unfortunate. I mean, but like Shroud came out and said the other day he was looking at some clips of like how people are cheating, and he's like, dude, cheats are ridiculous. And like I think his statement was he's like online gaming is going to be like dead in 10 years the way he felt like it, because cheats aren't going away. They're, no matter how much anti-cheat, the cheaters are always a step ahead of the anti-cheat. I think Valorant's got the best anti-cheat right now, but like somebody's gonna crack that eventually.
Invasive.
Someone's gonna figure out a way around that. I bet at some point too. Because if I write a cheat and I can get however many people to buy that cheat from me, like you're gonna make a buttload of money as somebody that sells exploits for a game, and it sucks, but it's never going. I don't think it's ever gonna go away. So you just either accept it, or you play a different game, or you just stop gaming altogether, because it's here to stay. I mean, there's cheats on consoles now. It's ridiculous,
So if you have a high graphical game, it's going to be almost impossible to have a good anti-cheat, because the anti-cheat is going to run in the background, and it's going to be looking for programs. So if you have a game like Valorant, who has a very, very invasive anti-cheat, by the way.
Right.
Like it literally is in your computer, and it sees exactly what's running in your computer, and it can see pretty much everything. Like you give that program control to look at your credit cards, to look at, you know what I mean? Like that's what you're doing. Um, for a game like Escape from Tarkov to have an anti-cheat like that, the game's gonna run like shit. There's just not.
Yeah.
It's got way too much to decode to figure out if you're cheating or not, and play the game. So that's the problem that they've been running into now, from what I've understood. And this is all secondhand knowledge again. And that's why Valorant can be so good, because that game could run on a computer 20 years ago and run at 150 frames. And it's just, it's Valorant.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
hopefully, like you said though, cheaters are never going to go away. It's a society problem.
Mhm. Right.
It's not a gaming problem. The problem is that there's people out there that think it's okay to cheat.
Right. Yep.
That's the problem.
That's what it comes down
It's
to.
never going to go away until people don't think that way anymore.
Yep.
Which will never happen. So
Yeah.
Somebody asked, do we think the leveling progress is too slow for the general player base? I'm going to start off by saying no, it's not. I just think that other people are obsessed with being the first to get BP ammo and their Metamutants back. I think that other people spend too much time running the game, and it's not content creators necessarily. It's everybody. There's a million people that don't create content for a living that are putting 30, 40, 70 hours into Tarkov. I don't think that the leveling is too slow for the general player base. I think some of the early tasks where you have to collect stuff, I'd like to maybe see those spawn rates up a little bit more, but overall, I think it's fine. I think you have a 6-month wipe, and I think the idea is not everybody's supposed to get to Kappa. I think you're supposed to, at the end of the wipe, you should have traders unlocked. It's not supposed to be easy. I think that other people have played it enough, or people have put out guides to make it super efficient for the people that really want to grind it, and then they get bored, and then they complain. That's the way I feel about it. Anybody feel any different? Anybody have any opinions?
No, I definitely agree. I mean, this isn't a game that's meant to be easy. It's
Right.
not meant for you to, excel like in a week and like, hey, here I am. No, like you invest time into the game.
Right. Yeah.
I've always said, for Escape from Tarkov, you're not really a truly like good player until you do 2 wipes, because it takes that amount of time to be able to, and some people can do it in 1 wipe. It depends how much they play. Okay, there's just amount of time that you put into the game. It's not like Call of Duty or Apex, where you're good at Call of Duty, you jump on Apex and you're good. You're already good.
Right.
The
Yeah. Find your mouse
correlates,
sense.
everything goes together.
Yeah.
Right. Tarkov, it's just so much more to it, and it's, you could be good at PvP, but you could you could not know where any of the loot is, or like what are you even supposed to do for your tasks. So you're going up and you're nailing somebody like 10 times in the head with an Alton because you're really good at PvP, but he one taps you with BP ammo because he's got better ammo and armor and stuff than you do. But because you don't know how to play the game yet, and you don't know what good ammo is, and you don't know anything about Tarkov, you're gonna get shit on. And that's
Yeah.
why experience on Tarkov matters a little bit more than actual skill. Skill obviously matters, but they all both combined. But like at the very beginning of playing Tarkov, you could be the best PvP player in the world and still get shit on.
Dad
all day,
life! Look
just
at
because
this
you don't know what good
absolute
ammo is, you don't know,
daddy.
certain things. So
Yeah, I mean, I think that knowledge goes a long way for helping people level faster than other people. I just think that, it's wild because I know some people that are literally like, they're gonna hit max traders within 2 weeks, and then they're gonna like play for a couple days and beat up on Timmies that didn't level as fast as them. They're gonna be like, I'm bored, and then they're gonna be like, I didn't get enough content. And we already talked about that. Like, we didn't feel like
Happens
Lighthouse
every
was
wipe,
quite
yeah.
enough content. We would like to see more, but it's like, dude, like, you marathon the game. You played all of Final Fantasy as fast as you could, and now you're going to say, I didn't get my $60 worth. It's because I only got 5 days worth of gameplay. It's like, dude, you got 80 hours of gameplay in that week, or however many hours you just spent, 120 hours of gameplay to get to where you're bored. Yeah, anybody doing anything for 120 hours straight is possibly going to get bored. That's how I feel about it. And I think that's a common thing. Judge, I know you said you had to leave early tonight. Just wanted to time check you. I didn't know if you had to go.
No, shit, yeah. I was supposed to sleep 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
You want me to leave my camera on?
I mean, if you want to blank it out and hold the spot, that'd
Do
be
you have
awesome
like
for
a
me.
blow up? Anything
Just
to put
use-
in
just
your
use-
chair? I redacted my.
Do you have to? Are you
can
running? Are you like running out and coming back, or?
Depends on how things go. This is long story short.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
Depends on how things go.
You know what you could do if you want to hold the spot? You could switch it to
Amaranth again.
OBS virtual
it's
cam.
me in high school posing for reporter in the field for my school network.
Dude, whatever you want to do.
You
Whatever you got
have
to do.
Put that there now. You just suggest you can't
Everyone
go with
thinks
anything
it's
else.
Trump. Everyone thinks it's Trump. Nope, it was me in high school.
You do what you got to do, man. Just wanted to remind you. This is going to be great.
Holy
Is that,
excited.
is that a picture of Trump?
Oh my god.
Dude, your hair was looking pretty good back then.
I love
I
it.
just see the glare of his monitors.
I love it.
All right, that works.
I did that so no one could see what like school I was in.
There you go.
Okay, that's fair.
There you go.
That's
I love it.
As he lifts it.
All right, we'll see you in a little bit, maybe.
Possibly.
Everybody say
All right,
bye,
cheers,
Judge.
man.
Maybe
Hi, Judge.
we can
Maybe.
see your
Maybe.
radar.
Maybe.
I gotta grab my phone.
Radar on his monitor confirmed.
Yep.
Yeah, right?
confirmed.
Look at it. So that being said, hopefully Judge gets what he's done. What did you? I want to talk about like the guns. Okay, so the new guns have came out. Have you guys used which new ones have you used so far?
Only tried the G36 and the new AK.
The new AK, the 545 or the 762?
The 545.
What you, Amy?
I haven't gotten a chance to, but I definitely want to try the new SV98. I really like that body.
Yeah. Let me tell you, I used it. It's so good. I'm never picking
it?
up an M700 again.
Serious? I gotta
Dude,
try
it's
it now.
so. It's like the build
It
with it.
looks
It's got
really
31 ergo. Like it holds. It holds like a DVL. It
And they
feels
reduced
like a
the weight
DVL.
on it too, so you can ADS for longer too.
Yeah, the new
Yeah.
SV feels like a DVL, and it's got a better round. So like, it's my new favorite right now. I mean, I'll probably still use DVL because I love the sound of the DVL, but to me, it has the similar handling and feel and swing of a DVL when I'm ADSing, than the old one used to. And it's like M700. What's that? I don't even know what that thing is anymore. I'm a DVL SV98 only person until I unlock the Lapua, which I haven't had a chance to use. I've seen people use it.
It's gonna be so good too. I've seen
It
clips.
does, the recoil with the full suppressed one does not look that bad at all. It looks
manageable.
manageable.
For that.
It looks dirty. Mr. Armbar's asked us before, what do we think about Shooterborn Heaven going to 125 meters? It was a good segue into that. I don't
So sad. I'm so sad.
I don't personally care.
I don't mind it.
But I think some of the maps some maps is gonna be a little bit more difficult. It cut away some of the shooting lanes on like customs. Some of those shooting lanes no longer exist. I think it made customs. There's gonna be like 3 or 4 spots on customs now where everybody's gonna be going for Shooterborn to get the easy 125 meter headshots. I think it's gonna be that way in some maps. Woods doesn't affect shit. Lighthouse, who cares? You're sniping 200, 250 meters now that they added Lighthouse. Shoreline, it might affect Shoreline too a little bit because I don't even know if it's 125 from like the spot where you lay up top to Hydro anymore. Yeah, I would say too. I mean, 125 meters affects casual players more than content streamers because 100 meters you could kind of get running around anywhere. I got 200 meter headshots with the ump last wipe with a red dot. Just casually was like throwing bullets at somebody and managed to hit them in the head at plus 100 meters. That's not happening at 125. I mean, it could, but I feel like the casual, like, oh, that was a shooter-born kill, is not going to be as much of a thing now as it used to be.
Yeah, but the people who are doing shooter-born generally aren't like, we say casual players, but because they're not streamers, but they're grinding for Kappa. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you really want to get Kappa, you're gonna get shooter-born in heaven done, and you're gonna figure it out.
Right.
I would say I agree with customs being difficult. That was the only thing I thought of when I saw that. Customs is gonna be a lot harder to do. It's probably gonna be like 1 or 2 spots now where you can do it. Unfortunately, but every other map, I mean, most shooter-born in heaven shots I get are over 125 meters. It's not very common when it's just like it's exactly 100 on the dot, you know?
Right.
And it's gonna be frustrating as frustrating as it was before when you got 99 meters. It's gonna be just as frustrating when you get those 110 meter shots,
right, yeah.
122. But it's the same thing. I don't really think it's too much of a difference.
What's 25 more meters?
I wish, yeah.
And you've got
exactly.
better. You got better equipment to do it now. You've got that new SV98, which has got a way better round. And if you unlock the Lapua, dude, that thing shoots like a laser. It shoots. It's an absolute laser. You're not worrying about windage past through, like maybe out to 300. You start worrying about bullet drop, like.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know,
it's gonna be nuts, man.
And it's gonna dunk people. It's not gonna. You're not gonna be bouncing bullet off.
Imagine bringing your best kit, just getting one tapped with that thing. Oh my god, dude, I'd be done.
It's gonna be frustrating.
No, I don't think. I think people who are going for Shooterborn in Heaven. I know so many guys. I mean, even myself. Last wipe, I didn't do Shooterborn in Heaven. I played till level. I think I was like 58, almost 60, without doing Shooterborn in Heaven and any task pass max traders. You know what I mean? Like if there's guys who are trying to do Shooterborn in Heaven and they're grinding for Kappa, they're not just like
that's ridiculous.
Typical casual players. You know, it's gonna suck. Shooterborn Heaven is meant to be a hard task. It's like Grenadier. That's why they locked BP behind it and added 5 more kills. It's a hard task. It's supposed to be a hard task. It's not supposed to be something you can do in one sitting. You're supposed to work at it.
Yeah, the Grenadier changes are ridiculous. They really made it. They're like, hey, we made impact nades, so now we gotta make Grenadier harder.
I don't like that they put impact nades
just get rid of impact nades and leave it at 10. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, I like finding impact nades and saving them up, and then like one day, just like let's go ruin some people's days on factory.
Right,
that's fun. I might do that every
once a stream, but fun. It's toxic
because I buy them now. You know, yeah, it's super toxic, but I might do it once a stream now just because I can buy them. You know?
Amy, tell us about the nades. Tell us about the nades. I know you love. Is it a channel point redeem, or are you just going with just nades?
So it's a wheel spin. That chat favors. So I literally go in with a whole backpack, like a Burkett and like a rig with only grenades. That's it. I don't even go with armor, nothing.
Belt rig, right?
It's something like a belt rig or like a black rock or just whatever I have. If I have the money for it, and I just so I'm carrying like 50 grenades. And it's just a mix of them. It can be impact. It can be, RDs. It can be F1s. It can be whatever. So, and then I just, have fireworks go off everywhere I go.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. TKs? Never. So
that'd be fun.
I've used the new Mark 18. Cut you off, Amy. What do you have to say?
No. I was going to say, I don't think that I've TK'd anybody with the grenades, but I could be wrong, so.
Yeah, I've never TK'd before. So I agree.
Definitely a Chaos Crew night. This guy died to a grenade thrown by Amy Cakes. That's all I'm saying.
No, did I?
Yes, you did. Nope. You did. You
ran into her grenade down live. That's what actually happened.
Throwing grenades, and we're like, "There's people," and she's like throwing grenades, and then I think she had bitbot going off, and she goes, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry." I think you killed me and Crazen at the same time.
No, it was just you. That's right. You're right. It was over there by Power. Yep, you ran over there.
Now I feel like there's more people who died.
And I was throwing grenades, like towards the other side of the wall, like train track side. And one of them, I guess, just landed where you were running by the fallen train cart by Power.
It's one of those, if she doesn't remember it, it never happened sort of thing. Yeah, I see. How
I
many-
think she's kind of just hoping none of us remember.
How many-
I
I was gonna say, how many
literally
other people
admitted
don't
that I
remember?
remembered.
I'm starting to think now.
I
Have I been
remember.
TK'd by Amy Cakes? But I think she grenaded me too. Now I'm just like, come to think of it.
No. I think I killed you when we were doing the Russian roulette thing with Lupo.
In the face, yeah. I
Yeah,
remember that.
that was the
I
only
remember
time
that.
I've ever killed you.
I was
Yeah.
the first one to die too. That was super fun. Yeah, I was just so glad you guys had a lot of fun playing that.
The
Those
worst
rhinos were
is when
fun.
you
That's
do.
what made that gun fun.
Yeah.
Anytime you do that stuff and then die to, you're the first one out. It's like, oh god, this feels terrible.
They need to add an animation for those revolvers. You can spin it. They really do.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
that'd
would
be
be
sick.
really
That'd
cool.
be
That'd be
sick.
so cool.
That'd be sick, dude. What if you did it as revolver shotguns? Revolver
I want
shotguns,
to dual wield the
and
revolvers.
then and then
That'd
did
be-
it
that'd be
at each
good.
other.
It'd be good.
Yosemite
Revolver
Sam
shotguns.
with the revolvers, rootin' tootin' shooting this. Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. Anybody used the new shotgun yet?
I have not.
I haven't had a chance
used
I'm
the
to.
new
so far behind this wipe. I'm so far behind this wipe.
I
heard good things about the new shotgun, though.
I've heard good things too. I know Stage Hook. He's in chat. He's going. It's so good. He loves it. He loves it. I think a lot of people running the Flechetti Spaghetti already with the new shotgun. Destroying
What's new about
people.
it? What's so nice
It just
about
doesn't have a lot of
Yes.
recoil. It just the recoil seems super manageable. Like I was watching people and they're just like nothing. It's like
Doesn't
not
kick
like
you
the
back
other ones.
as hard.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh my god.
But that new rifle is terrible. Mm-mm.
The one shot.
Yeah,
I
10 out
killed-
of 10. Do not
It's
recommend.
so cool though. It's
I
so
killed
cool, though.
two
It's
guys
cool, the
yesterday.
reload, it's cool, but
I
no,
killed two
Yeah.
people yesterday with it. They were on Sniper Rock, and I flanked up behind him and shot one guy right in his head. And then I shot this other guy. All I could see was his Tanu lock, and I put that PS round right in between his eyes, and felt
It's just
so
not
good.
good for like the
Tarkov.
It's a meme
yeah.
gun for
Okay.
sure. It's a memer. It's a memer. It's a bad gun, but
factual.
it's so fun. It's so fun.
Yeah. I just love the look of it. It just sounds cool. It looks.
It does
cool.
sound really cool.
Doesn't work very well, but it looks cool. So. you know what I mean?
The new
It's
shotgun
It's
has
the
nice.
reload time
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
So the new shotgun holds 14 rounds in the mag.
Oh shit.
14 rounds, and it's got
Wow.
way less recoil than a Saiga, for sure.
You know what I'm gonna be doing? I'm gonna be throwing a rebuy on that with a bunch of Clash flashlights, and just having a blast. I did the last wipe with the Saiga. My limit was the fact that I couldn't bring in more drum mags because they're 4 slaughters. But now with this bad boy, ooh, yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm telling you, you have not lived until you put on a bunch of flashlights, like 5 flashlights on a gun, and throw on a rebuy.
Yeah, apparently
Nobody
you can't
can
put
see
any
it.
lights. No lights can. You can't put any lights on it at all. There's no mounts.
No
on the
mounts
gun.
at all. I'm never using it.
I'm never using it. Burn
Never
it
using
down.
it.
Until the first, I already know how this is gonna go. The first time he picks it up and uses it, he's gonna be like, "This gun's dirty." And he's gonna run it for 3 days straight with AP20s
Yeah, I do
in
that
it.
a lot actually.
Yeah.
I did that with PP rounds, the new buff PP rounds. I feel like they're so good, man.
When you
Still running
when
them
you
every
found the
raid.
double barrel with double APs and put both barrels on, and were folding people for 4 days straight last wipe.
Dude, I just didn't expect that. Dude, it's
Mm-hmm.
something about it, man. It's just so satisfying. It's just so satisfying. Like, I almost wish they can see what I killed them with, and I can show them yeah, this is it, man. Just a double barrel. Oh my god, they're so good. Yeah,
So I haven't really used anything else other than that. I haven't used any of the new guns. Obviously, I haven't used the new sniper.
G36. You haven't tried the G36?
I haven't tried the G36. I haven't tried the 5.45 single shotgun. I took it and was like, I'm gonna try it, and then I sold it, and I was like, nah, no, I don't even care. 5.45 is bad enough on an auto gun. I don't want to try it on a semi-auto.
Agreed.
Even though
I
they
tried it,
buffed
that's exactly what I
5.45,
thought.
like the 5.45, I'm not gonna complain. I feel like they buffed it, but I just feel like, again, going back to that damage thing, there's been plenty of times where I've just shot dudes and I'm like, why are you not dead yet? I can see 7 gallons of blood on the wall behind you.
I felt that with Eagle Nick, not necessarily the lower BT.
BT. I like the idea of the buffs. I like the PP. You could use PP. It's a good ammo now. BP, BT. Those are all fine and dandy ammos to use. And I haven't had a problem. I've actually really enjoyed using the AK-105. Has kind of been one of my go-tos with just like a Monstrum 2X on it. It gives me a little bit of range. I can still spray people close range, and it dumps people. It's not like it still has a bunch of recoil, but it's a slow firing gun. It's manageable. You know, so I like that. I do like some of the ammo changes, not all of them.
Didn't they buff 5.56?
They did.
Kind of.
So
It was like a half-ass buff.
I think the buff is going to be pretty game changing for for 55A1. So they went from what 45. What was the
45
damage?
pen,
It was like
45 pen to
49.
44 pen, and then 45 damage to
flesh.
49. Yeah.
49 flesh damage. So you're basically going to be two tapping everybody in the chest with MA55A1
But
if they're
you're
wearing
not-
level 4 and below.
But right, level 4 and below.
That's M62 last wipe, and every wipe before that. That's BP.
So-
every wipe before that.
so-
The M85A1 is going to be the new BP with higher fire rate. It's the fact that it two taps in the
But
chest now,
I
and it's
still
going to
think
consistently two tap in the chest.
I don't necessarily know if the ammo was ever the problem. I think the recoil was a problem with those guns.
Dude, I ran HKs last wipe. They're fine. They're fine.
I think
I,
compared to a mutant, compared to a mutant though, compared to a mutant with their recoil, compare the two. It makes no sense that to me, or not even a mutant, like an AK-103.
It's a fire rate though, too. It's a fire rate. You gotta consider the fire rate too. Though.
Yeah, well, I'm considering.
Like I would not want recoil like a mutant with an M4 for cheap at least.
Right.
Especially now. I foresee this wipe. Everyone's gonna be freaking out about M855A1's too strong now. Like the fact that I think it's gonna consistently two tap in the chest. I think it's if you're wearing level 5 armor, it's gonna three tap you. It's gonna take 3 shots to kill you. I think it's gonna be BP, but with higher fire rate. And if you spend the money, lower recoil. Like it's gonna be gross. I'm curious about the G36 too. I haven't tried it out with full attachments, but I think the G36 has higher fire rate than MDR, and I think with good recoil control and good attachments, I think it's going to be a budget M4, and it's going to be disgusting with MA55A1. I think it's going to be people are going to be really shocked with how gross the ammo is going to be now. Like the fact that before it would it's sometimes two tap in the chest, most of the time it wouldn't because of even though it pens, it still loses some flesh damage. The fact that doesn't even matter now, it's just going to two tap regardless. It's going to be BP all over again.
I would like to see. My opinion would have been buff it half as much as they did, but then reduce the recoil on the M4s and because the bottom line is when I run a 40 recoil M4 and a 41 recoil mutant, dude, the mutant seems so much better. Like ridiculous amount. And I know there's a lower fire rate makes it manageable, but it's not even about manageable. I don't know if you saw the video that One Peg posted today with the new 7.62 gun. It's an it has some muzzle rise off the initial, and then it's literally like a laser beam with BP. He ran it with BP, and then he did it with the US ammo, which has got the whatever 30% lower recoil.
US is crazy. Yeah.
It's insane, dude. It's like he's shooting like a P90. Or like MP7 with subsonic. Like it's just silly that the thing doesn't even move. And for BP to do that much damage blows my mind. And like, granted, they locked BP behind Grenadier, and it's gonna be harder for people to get it, but people already have it. I've died to it already.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean, I just think that they are really biased towards the BP and the AKs. And I personally think it's a little bit too strong.
Yeah, I mean, it's you have like 3 ammo types that you're going to be facing every late wipe, and it's like you can choose to either make one the strongest and everybody runs that, or try to equal it out,
Right.
which I think what they're trying to do right now. So last wipe was the mute meta. It's all you anytime after this first month. It was like the first month of wipe. Everybody you kill had a mutant. Before that, it was UMPs, right? But after the first month, everybody just had mutants. And then the wipe before that was HKs. Yeah, HK meta.
That was M4.
Right before that was M4.
HK.
Yeah, both of those regardless. And then it was like HK / they nerfed it. Then they went to MDR, the 7.62 MDR. I think with this M4 buff, like I think we're gonna be you're gonna late wipe. There's only so many metas But adding more metas is better for the game, in my opinion, instead of just having one gun that you have to be using. If you're not rocking this gun, how many times you die last wipe and you're like, man, if I had a mutant there, I would have won. Like I shot him with an
Yeah.
M4, I hit so many more shots, but I died because he two-shot me.
Yeah, I think.
And in fact, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
The fact that they also brought back, I saw Stage mention vectors, AP 6.3 to the traders, bro. I'm gonna be rocking you there. I'm gonna be rocking nothing but vectors for a good bit because that was the whole point. I just couldn't run it because I didn't have AP 6.3 and I wasn't gonna spend the time, or I was just lazy at that point. I didn't want to get AP 6.3 and craft it.
Right.
So the fact that that's back, we're gonna see so many more viable options.
Yeah.
This wipe than I think we would in any other wipe, actually. Any other wipe.
Is there any 7? Did they bring 7N31 back to the traders or no? That's still.
I hope not. No. PPM,
But
I
mean, I think they should do with that like they did with some of the higher end ammos. Like you can get it from a trader, but it's limited to like 45 AP. You can get like 50 or 60 of them.
Oh, dude. Bro, with the vector, it's like that'd be all fine if they just did not have the vector. The vector made 9 mil so overpowered because of the fire rate. Like they could add recoil all you want. If you get shot in the chest for like half a second, if they just kind of graze your chest with their sight, it's like 5-10 rounds in your chest and you're dead. Doesn't really matter. If like the vector wasn't in the game, I would love to see PBM back in the flea or in the trader pool. But because the vector, it's I hate basing a whole ammo type around one gun. But that's kind of how the vector is. Its fire rate is just so insane, and they can't just lower the fire rate because it's not realistic. You know, they're staying true to what the gun is, but the gun's insane. I mean, if they brought PBM back, dude, I would never run fucking BP. Yeah. I'd be rocking only vectors.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's just so many 9mm guns that just suck without PBM. Like, to be honest,
they do.
Every gun sucks.
It's the vector, bro.
It's just the vector fucking ruined the game. Because it's like I used to and I still love the MPX. I ran a shit ton last wipe, but it was like I had to craft PBM to use the MPX. Other I couldn't kill shit
forever.
And I couldn't even use 6.3. I'd be literally be like, I want to run MPXs this weekend. Let me craft a full crate of PvP, 7N31 just so I can run it. Four raids of MPXs.
4 raids, yeah.
You know?
I go so cool. You die. God forbid you die. And all those 50 rounders are gone.
I just think that
I agree.
I've always maintained the thing that I would love to see a standalone reloading bench in the hideout, not a crafting bench. I want a reloading bench where the whole premise of it is to just reload ammo. And you can break down ammo and get gunpowder from any ammo, whether it be, blue, green, or red. You can break down ammo, turn it into gunpowder, and then reload whatever you want, and you unlock it like a 3-stage just reloading station. And I think that'd be awesome. And maybe you should be able to reload every ammo. I mean, it'll be select amounts. It'll be like ridiculous. You want to reload some AP 338, sure, but it's gonna be like one. It's going to be like you could do 5 rounds per container or 10 rounds per red gunpowder or something like that. I
wouldn't be shocked if we actually saw something like that later in the future.
I think we should.
That'd be all. I would like that. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing about Tarkov. We're talking about the value of a game. What does EOD cost? 120? 140? I can't remember exactly.
140, I think.
God, man. I mean, how many people have over like 5,000? I have 7,000 hours in this game. I have a lot of hours in Tarkov. And I still...
That's the hours that you can see like on your stats, or you including before they started tracking it?
It's literally just the hours on my stats screen. I don't know what it was before. I also know I left my game open a lot. I go to bed, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
So that also counts, but it's still a lot of time put into it. And obviously that's plenty for 140 or $40, but the fact that we're always getting something new every single wipe for free, no expand. Remember expansion passes? Oh, I remember remember paying for expansions for like RPG games and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, oh my god, I played 10 hours and I beat it already.
Right.
You know, that's not something you do with that. It's not something you ever do with Tarkov. And for us content creators, we get creative and do offline mode now. I mean, you can always get creative, do hardcore mode. You can do 0 to hero. Like there's just so many. Tarkov's just the perfect game for just blowing time away, man, and just getting your value out of it. It's so good. And I with that said, I do think that we are going to see something like ammo reload stations, reloading benches. You know?
I would love to see that.
Just because they're always adding stuff. Why wouldn't they add that? at
Yeah.
this point, you know?
I agree. I mean, I think that makes sense. I think we should see it. I haven't run into any of the new bosses. I feel like a lot of people haven't. Somebody said, "Do you think they need to up their spawn rate?" I don't think so. They seem, from what I've heard, the new bosses are very, very hard to kill. I don't want them on my maps when I'm trying to task and have to worry about them, because they cover a large amount of ground, and I think one of them just once he aggroes you, he's just taunting you for the rest of the raid, basically.
And they tell the other ones to, like, they all like play around information that the first one has.
Right.
You know that?
Yep.
They play off each other's like information of where they last saw you.
Yep.
It's crazy. They're crazy. They're hard, man.
Have you run into them?
It's like, yeah, I was playing with Ash, and we heard a shot. We're like, what the hell was that? And we just peeked back, and Ash gets one tapped. I do like a little, you know, like the slow peek where you can go back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's quick. It's like maybe half a second. I did that, and on the way back, he shot me twice and hit me 4 times. He had that Raider bug.
Yeah.
Look, it was M993, so I died instantly.
Right.
But that's those bosses are freaking hard. I don't care. It really doesn't, like, granted I had level 10 gear. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I didn't get a shot off. I wouldn't have gotten a shot off with level 6 armor. It would have been the same scenario where I just died instantly because it was M993. And I think they're gonna up the spawn rate like they do with every boss.
Right.
They don't early wipe. I mean, how many times have you guys seen Rashala the first couple days?
I
Like,
still haven't seen him.
Yeah,
I've seen him once.
We all know it's gonna. Yeah, we all know it's gonna come back later
Yeah.
on.
Mhm.
It's just right now they don't want people getting Altons every raid.
Right. Yeah. Right. Because there's people that are going to be resourceful
yeah.
and fight
Oh
them,
my god,
you know,
can't wait.
for sure. Somebody died to the M32 from pipe at 150 meters away. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I tried to search for M32 clips because I wanted to pull some up and find some people like that had gotten them and using them, and I couldn't find a clip with somebody using the M32 yet. I'm sure they exist, but there ain't a lot of them out there. There's not a lot of them out there. I'll be honest. There's not. I was trying to search for clips of people killing the new bosses, and there ain't a heck of a lot of them out there. You know, and
They're hard, man.
They're that hard, and I'm sure they've died. But I mean, it's weird because I feel like it's like you gotta get the raiding party together. Like, okay, we gotta get a 5-man that actually communicates good together, so we can hunt these these bosses down if they spawn. I think it's hard. And the only thing I feel like can counter it is if you get like that bolty, and you get the jump on them depending on what map it is, and you have like even then the 338 AP ammo, if you're over 100 meters, isn't gonna one shot them even if you shoot them in the head because their head HP is like 80.
Yeah, I think I thought about it. I really don't see how I could have. I think the only way you can kill them, all 3 of them, if you're solo, is if you sit in a room and they push you and you just land every single headshot when they walk in, and it has to be quick because in the open, it's like you have I did a slow peek and he shot me and he was aggro to me, but he wasn't walking towards me. He was crouched and he just stood up and shot me instantly. And it's like I don't know how else I could have played that. Like maybe throwing a grenade and maybe getting him while he's running away to go to cover. God forbid you miss.
Right. And that's
you know what I mean?
And that was one of the 3.
That's one of the 3. Yeah, I didn't even see the other ones.
Right.
Dude, they're hard, man. Which is good because we needed that challenge. I mean, does anyone remember the Rashala when he would just stare at the wall? Like all of him and his goons were just staring at the wall, and you could just walk up to them. Like, we needed that challenge, but I don't know how to do it yet. I don't know.
I'm
I'm sure.
they hyped up Pagilla, and then Pagilla was doing the same thing. Like he was just
Yep.
like crouched in a corner somewhere, and he didn't do
Kelly did
anything.
the same thing. Yeah,
He
Kelly
is
did the same thing.
zooming. He is zooming this way.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
man been hitting the treadmill, let me tell you.
Yeah.
He's
they're
zooming
killing
and
it with the bosses. They're
Yeah,
killing it with the bosses. They're hard.
he's moving fast, but he's also shooting accurate while he's doing it, and it's kind of annoying. He ran into him
Yeah.
with a Saiga the other day, and I was like, "What is that?" And I was like, "Oh, it's a shotgun." And then I was like, "Oh no!" And I was dead. He like comes running around the corridor. He's just like, "Yeah, die, PMC," and I'm like, "Yep, I'm dead. Gone. See you later." By the time I realized it was him and what happened, I was dead. I mean, I'm sure he's still a little body. He's still a little bit body, but I think that's okay because it's factory and it's tiny place. You can't outrun him. You gotta luck out and kill him, or he's gonna get you. He's gonna get you for sure. I haven't seen. We saw Killa. I've killed Killa. Well, I didn't personally. The group of us killed Killa. We tag teamed with the three of us, shooting him in the legs, and he died. It was the greatest thing.
God.
We
I had to go with the leg shot.
we actually basically stun locked Killa because we had three people, and he was against a wall, and he didn't know where to go, and he kind of was just like, and then we ended up killing him. We like stun locked him. Like, remember we used to be able to do it? You used to just leg him, and he didn't know what to do.
Yep.
Anybody remember? There
Oh
was,
my god, dude! When
it was the same thing. It was just like
rip
that.
ammo. Rip ammo was a thing for killing him.
Yeah. Rip ammo or
Yeah, I mean-
just kettering him.
That's how I see you having to kill the new bosses, man. It's just, it's like there's just,
You have to find an
like,
exploit.
there's no way. Yeah, even if you have a 5-man, there's no way you kill the bosses without somebody dying because they are that quick at killing you. I've never died that fast. Like Sturman used to be bop bop bop. You know, you hear those 3 shots in woods, you're like, oh, somebody's dead. Like it was faster than that. I cannot express to you how fast it was. And that was just one of them. That was the guy with that was Bird Eye. It wasn't even to do with the GL. You know what I mean?
Everyone's like, oh, you know, Sturman sucks when he's at a range. I'd say the worst ranged boss is Gluhar when he sees you. When he's got that M1 with 993.
That man.
He's
Oh,
way
dude.
more scary than
He does
Sturman.
2 shots. Yeah, he does 2 shots.
2 shots with M61 or 993. And let me tell you, he
Yep.
don't miss. Sturman, you can sometimes get him to miss. Like, you can run around cover and stuff, dude. Gluhar don't miss. He misses never.
Mm-mm.
That's my biggest range bot is Gluhar. Gluhar he's daddy when it comes to that stuff. Because then if you get close to him, when you do get close to him, he happens to have the Ash 12 with 12B, and he destroys you with that too. So you can't win with him. You know.
Yep. Every time I push Gluhar, I always look at my armor. I'm like, oh god, I'm wearing level 4.
Yeah. Right.
You know, there's that chance of him just one tapping you with that PS12B because it's gross.
Yeah. And even with the 12B, it does so much armor damage, and raiders and bosses are doing triple. They hit you 3 times with one shot.
Mm-hmm.
I would say,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, that's pretty much where, I mean, do you guys have anything else with what, in regards to what we've experienced New Wipe, do you guys want to talk about?
No, nothing crazy. I mean, not that we haven't covered already. The wipe's good. This has been my favorite wipe. I mean, I would argue that this has been probably the least amount of content I've seen with the wipe. I think this is less than a customs expansion, but it's also been my favorite wipe so far because of how crisp and clean it feels, man. There's something different about just loading up into Tarkov. I hope inertia, like, you know, like inertia last wipe scaled with strength. The higher strength you had, the less inertia you had. I hope that's not the case this wipe. I hope inertia stays the way it was level 1. And the higher strength you get, it feels the same because it felt that good. It felt that. That's how inertia should feel, in my opinion. That's how inertia, like, that's how I pictured inertia feeling when they first announced it.
Yeah.
And that little change, that little quality of life change, and just the fact that we have, it's so simple. It's really not much content, right? Offline co-op.
Right. But you can make it a lot of content.
For me, yeah. For me, I've never been more excited. I already know it's going to be so fun.
Oh, yeah, the night vision changes. I haven't used. Did I get?
I haven't tried them yet. I haven't tried them.
I haven't tried it, but I've seen it, and it does look sick. The new night vision looks like, because there's been times in the past where people are like, you know, wear night vision goggles. I'm like, it's 2 a.m. Dude, I'd rather run around in the moonlight than use night vision that sucks and it gets all staticky when I take pain meds. You know, when I take pain meds, I can't see shit. So I'm excited to use the night vision. I've seen people using it. It definitely does look good. The new bears, of course, you know, sub accounts got to bring up the bears. A lot of people playing bears. I've killed a lot of bears this wipe.
Same.
And I've been trying to kill Usex right now, and I can't. I keep killing fucking bears. I need them for my Tarkov shooter or whatever the fuck it is. I'm trying to unlock the Peacekeeper task, and I can't manage to find any fucking Usex to kill. I need to kill like 4 more, dude. I killed so many bears today. But I'm happy. I'm happy that that's that, because there's the other task where you're going to kill bears. So now you'll be able to do it again. So it's good.
I mean, I like their broken English. And I've had other friends kind of mention that they wish they had like more individualized lines as opposed to repeating the same ones as like the Usex. But I do like the language or the broken English. So
Yeah. I mean, the broken
Mhm.
English is cool, but it definitely seems like it's. I was playing with Atlas, the other day, and he was like, it's like I forgot, we were all talking, and we were talking like they hired like like British voice actors to fake a Russian accent almost, instead of just getting people from Russia like doing like the Nikita thing, like we will, like, you know, like he gets caught up with stuff. Like they should have just hired Russians that actually have broken English to say the lines, rather than English
should've made it
speakers
Nikita.
that know how to speak Russian.
Oh, that would have been great.
You know?
Playing as Nikita's voice.
I think if they made a bear that was Nikita's voice, there would not be one single USEC that wipe. Just everyone would be spamming the we will believe.
The only way
That's all
to
you hear every
the only
single
way to counter it would be like you'd have to get Keanu to do a USEC voice. So you either pick Nikita or John Wick.
I'd still go Nikita, man. There's no way you can pass up the we will believe.
Like, you know, like give him his own lines, like you killed my dog. I think I'm back. I think. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think I'm back.
Oh, yeah, I'd have to make 2 accounts. I'd have to do double the grind. I'd have to play it twice as much.
Double the grind.
Yep. It'd be so good, man.
Oh my god. One thing I wanted to touch upon, and I know this is kind of weird because we're already in the new wipe. What did you guys think about the end of wipe events, the pre-wipe events?
I gotta ask one more time. What are the pre-wipe events? What were they?
They were
airdrops,
they were that good.
Right?
We had airdrops, the Adolbos again,
bosses on customs,
the poison
was fun.
I didn't survive once with that.
I played with groups, and we would intentionally not TK, but we would like put our teammates in bad positions so we can get the stem off the boss. Like, you kill a boss, you both kill a boss, you start running over, you're like, oh, there's a guy on me, and they just turn around and you keep running, and you get you get the stem. But I thought it was fun, man. I've never, like, PvP wise, I won most of my fights, and I think it's because people were uncomfortable and had to push, whereas I wasn't really getting ratted all that often. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there was no time to rat during the poison.
There was no time to rat. You had to. You hear gunshots, you have to run at them.
Yeah.
And I loved it personally. It was a lot of fun. It's not like you lost money. You lost what, 40 rubles for a kit, you know?
Yeah, no, I know. I mean, I would like to see like the poison event be resolved and then just run around like normal. Yeah, I wouldn't say it was my favorite event. I like the one time that they just put raiders everywhere. Remember when they replaced all the scouts with the raiders?
Yeah,
that
on
was
every
a
map.
That was a fun event, and it was like everything was discounted. It was like a ruble for everything, so you're like running in with like 560 rounders and just mowing down raiders. You're like, you bastards were killing me all wipe. Now it's your turn. You know, I like that one. And raiders on factory, I like. But I mean, it was good, but it also was like too long. Like too long with that poison event. What was it, like almost 3 days? Was it 3 days or 2 days?
Yeah, it was weird too because. Do you remember the all bosses on reserve event?
Yeah.
Do you guys remember that? Do you guys play that? That felt so much better than all bosses on customs, and I love customs.
Yeah.
All bosses on reserve, I don't know what it was. It felt more intense. The fights were better. You got long range engagements all around. I'm not saying reserve is a better map, but it just for some reason this all bosses on customs event was just so boring. I didn't play customs half the raids.
Yeah, it was rather boring. Like Mr. Armbars just said, it was fun, but like streamers went and played other games because it was so much of a novelty type event. You know?
Yeah,
like,
maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what
like,
it was.
In the past,
we would experience that.
Right. It's in the past, like with reserve, dude, those bosses could have been anywhere on reserve. You didn't have an idea. It wasn't a spawn place. They were just. You could see Sanitar running by caves. You could see Sanitar running by pawn buildings. You could see Sanitar, you know, running around the train building. You had no idea who you were going to find. Sometimes you'd find all 3 or 4. You'd find 3 or 4 of them all up by like night buildings, and you had to fight all of them. It was just chaos, right?
Yeah,
this time it was like,
spawning dome and just trying to make the rundown dome while getting shot at by Sanitar and his VSS, and you just hear impacts running down as you're all going. You turn back, your buddy got head tapped, and you just keep going. Like it was, dude. It was a better map for that event. I don't think customs was it.
Yeah, I think that would have been. I'm wondering, like where do you put them, and then what was it? Like they've done the events on woods and on shoreline and stuff.
Oh,
I feel like reserve is the best map for those events, and I know they did it on interchange.
It's so good.
Interchange wasn't terrible, but I just hate interchange. So
it was all right. Yeah, same thing.
Okay.
I loved interchange, and it was all right.
But it was like it wasn't like reserve. Reserve was like free reign, and you could get to people from a bunch of places. The problem when they did the interchange one was like you had to go through choke points, and players were like, "Hey, let's skip the choke points in between the bosses."
That's true. Yeah, there was no real choke points in reserve where every raid went differently. Where I can't tell how many times I'll play customs. We kill Rashala, we kill Killa, and then we extract. Kill Rashala, kill Killa, we extract. Because it was just like, well, everyone else is already dead. Gluhar is just killing. I mean, Gluhar's killing everybody. Like, Gluhar was hard to fight in Stronghold, but reserve, I don't think I played one raid that was similar to the other. It was always just just chaos.
Yeah,
24/7, the entire raid. The entire raid
just
for
chaos,
45 minutes,
laughing,
however long that raid is,
screaming,
just freaking out, screaming. Yeah, it was super fun.
Yeah, with the customs one, it was like you went in because, and like I think the first day everybody had this idea that like I'm gonna kill every boss in a raid. That was my goal, and I think that was a lot of people's goal. They're like, I want to kill every boss. That's my goal today, dude. It was impossible. It was impossible because they were so impossible to get to. You go to the bridge and get Killa and Tagilla. By the time you're done with them, Shirtman or Gluhar are dead. Like somebody was dead already. Like, you weren't getting all of the bosses. It wasn't going to happen. Like, if you got... Like, there's just no way. So, I just felt like it did. It was like, man, like, sometimes I look forward to pre-wipe, and I'm not going to play as long of a stream when pre-wipes come in, but I love to, like, get the community in, or get, like, your closest friends in. Like, especially for me, like, my friends that maybe don't play Tarkov with me all that often or whatever, they'll come back and be like, oh, everything's free? Let's go, And it was kind of like, one of the days I think I took the day off. I was like, it's just, whatever. I don't want to play it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just, whatever. Like, I'm over it. But I think the Poison event, I can't remember if it was 2 or 3 days. It was too long. It should have been like the very last day. Or it should have been the Poison event and then be like, oh, well, you know what? The Poison event's over. Now it's just free for all last day before wipe. And I hate not knowing exactly what day the wipe's coming. Like, just tell me a week before this could be next Wednesday or next Thursday, so I can plan.
Yeah, that's the part that for a lot of us we have to plan around it. And this time, about every wipe, I haven't been able to plan around. To be honest,
because like people are doing 24-hour
they announce
streams.
it too late every time.
Right, it's because it's not. It's the day before when they're like, there will be a patch tomorrow, and with this patch, there will be a wipe. And you're like, oh, thanks, cool. Well, I'm going to go to bed now because I'm going to try to do a 24-hour tomorrow or whatever you want to do if you're into that. But, like, other people are like, hey, dude, like, I got to plan for shit. I got to go grocery shopping and shit now. Like, thanks for the 12 hours of notice. That's one of my... I'm at a point now where, like, when wipe comes, I usually don't really stream that much the first day.
And it's not because it's like I'll still play off stream sometimes, but it's usually just like viewership. It's like in terms of viewership as a streamer, unless you're like the top 0.1% and you're live 10 hours prior that the wipe waiting party, I mean, people really aren't going to tune in. They're mostly going in for those big guys to see how they're doing, who's getting capped first and all that. And that's fine. That's usually where like I just kind of I'll have fun, see what's going on, what's new with it. So like me missing out on like the exact time of when they're going live because I couldn't plan for it. It's really it. It's not. I personally, it hasn't affected me too much. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. There's a shift for all that stuff, and like Barbados just said, everyone would plan, everyone would be on, and the servers would melt down if everybody knew it would be kind of time. People would be like, "Yo, I'm
like Tarkov, yeah, that's true.
I'm sick next Thursday. I'm calling out of work." Yeah, I think there'd be a lot of that. And
the boss is like, "I'm calling out of work." You
yeah, exactly. Like I got Tarkov to play. Yeah, I mean that's the biggest thing, and like Shogun just said with the customs event, and customs in general, there is so many just weird choke spots where you can sit in a roof with a mutant and BP just proned out, and that's what makes that tough. And I definitely feel that map's been weird. I don't know what your guys' experience has been on customs. I've really felt I think the wipe's great, but there's been some really weird experiences that I've dealt with some people. I've killed some people camping in bushes and stuff already in areas where I wouldn't expect them to, just like in choke points now. Not even in an extract or near objective. I thought like the Golden Watch, whatever guild, what it's going to be, camped, and I got it really easy this wipe. And I helped some other people get it. It was really easy, but then it was like weird, like in choke points behind gas, like old gas. There was people hiding in bushes and shit, like 3 or 4 times already this wipe. Like you run out of the back of gas and there's dudes just like ambushing you, and I'm like, dude, it's really weird. And I don't know if it's like people took a wipe off and they're all coming back. I have no idea what it is, but I've definitely had a little bit of a different experience this wipe.
I'll say it. If I didn't stream, I would extract camp like all the time. I'm just gonna be honest. I've extra camped before off stream. It's a lot, dude. It's a lot of fun, man. You just chill out, you have a good time, put on Philadelphia in the background, whatever you want to watch. You know, that's all preference. And then just have a good, dude. Just relax, man. And so I also look at it like this. Like I try not to get upset because I know it's like for a game like Tarkov, what's beautiful about it is that you don't have to be like, you can be just a pretty average player at FPS games and you can still have a good time in Tarkov because sometimes sitting in that bush, like, let's be honest, if somebody who's pretty bad at Tarkov ran into Trey, there's really only so many scenarios where they can actually beat Trey or like Smitty or any of these really good players or just the average good player. There's only so many scenarios that they can put themselves into where they can beat those guys. And if you're going to dorms, in your mind, especially as someone new, I remember my first wipe, I never went to dorms once because I was like, that's where Chads go. I'm not going there. I'm gonna stay to the outskirts and avoid dorms because I know that's where I'm gonna go to die. And so as a new player, you see that you're like, okay, well, big players are coming out of there. My chance of getting loot is probably gonna be sitting in a bush and killing them when they're not seeing me. You know, we're catching them off guard with an ambush.
Right. Yeah.
As much as I hate it, that's their best case
scenario. That's the best play. Best play for
beating
them.
Somebody, being a good player, you know.
I would say like this. I love to sit on reserve. Like my first 2 wipes, dude, I hit like Psycho Sniper. Like was the easiest thing my second wipe because you know what I would do? Mm-hmm. Like I'd be not for nothing during COVID. I'd sit on reserve in the dome, laying outside of just on below the dome with my sniper rifle, and I'd have a spreadsheet on one sheet, and then I'd be like, oh, there's a guy down there. Shoot him in the head. Oh, there's another guy down there. Shoot him in the head.
Yep.
You know? And it was like, hey, it wasn't an extract camp, but people still got some... I can't believe you're just sitting in dome sniping. People are like, dude, I'm also getting paid to work right now as well, if you really want to get angry about it. You know? Or I would even do it on stream. I'd be like doing my early morning coffee stream when I woke up really early, and I'd be like sipping on my coffee. And we'd be talking about whatever. I'd be like pulling up videos and stuff and be like, oh, wait. There's some guys over here. There's a guy running to E-bunkers. Let's get this guy. And just shoot him, and just because I just wanted to chill and just like talk to chat or something like that. You can play the game however you want, and it's frustrating dying to like, you know, extra campers that are a Chad. But it's funny how you notice. You said I used to avoid dorms because it was full of Chads. I now avoid dorms because I'm like, yo, it's full of rats.
Yeah.
Like honestly,
Same,
it used to
man.
be like
it
like.
changes.
It's like I got to the point where I was a Chad and used to like fighting in there, and now I don't like going there because I'm like, oh, I didn't get the good spawn. There's probably like 4 guys covering 4 different corners in 4 different rooms in dorms now. Like, fuck it, dude. I don't even want to go. They all have the right hand peaks already covered. I'm screwed. I don't want to go now.
Yep. Remember when you can jiggle peek and you can kill those guys?
Yeah.
And they wouldn't do that.
Yeah. Now it's like right hand peeking or all. And I think that was one of the biggest things that happened with jiggle peeking. Right hand peek is just so much more superior because you can't even jiggle peek left hand now. Like you used to be able to like kind of have a good. You used to be able to get away with it if you could jiggle peek it. Now there's no shot. You try to jiggle peek that, you're dead.
Yeah, even then, if somebody's holding a cheeky right-handed angle, if you do that running peek, you can see where they are. You know, the fact that you had a quick pre-fire, and I mean, you had a chance. You know, there's a chance. I still lost so many fights like that. Even if I was like dead on my shots, they hit their shots. But
it was like it was like a 20-80 chances where now it's like a 1 versus 99% chance you're dying.
Yeah. Good luck.
You know, you're like,
you better hope you have a right-handed peek and you can slow peek it. If not, you're just gonna
Right.
Like you're just gonna die.
Yeah, before, like, you always had a chance, and now without that gone, I do feel like if somebody's holding an angle on you, dude, you're just dead. Just find a way to retreat.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I like inertia now. I'm loving the game. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Man, did I loved PvP close range or close quarters PvP with pre-inertia. I thought it was that's why I love Tark. That's why I never sniped. I don't think I ever like busted out the M1A with a voodoo, because I was always like close range fight, EOTech with a M1A, and it was just that's how I enjoy Tarkov. There's a lot of people who don't enjoy that, and that's fine, but
Yeah.
that's what I enjoyed about it. It's definitely you adapt though. You know what I mean? It's not
Yeah,
like I'm
for
shitting
sure.
on inertia. I love inertia. You adapt.
And that's the good thing about the game. The game changes. You choose to adapt or you choose to play something else. My biggest thing is I know I'm going to see it next week. There's going to be people like, oh, I'm so bored and do Tarkov, or they're going to complain about something because they're bored. And I think that's the biggest thing for me, and this goes for everybody hanging out. Check it. Look, like, it's okay, and it's tougher for content creators who are trying to create content. But if you're not streaming or trying to create content, or even if you're recording, you can always hit the pause button and go back. Like, go do something else. Get up and go for a walk for 10 minutes. Sit down, watch. Even if you're a content creator, like, watch a video on thing, or put an EFT WTF, or put one of your own YouTube videos up on stream. Go walk, go get a drink, go eat a snack, like, go chill out. If it's that frustrating for you. But I've gotten so tired of just seeing people, like, post every day, like, when are they going to fix the desync? Yep, I died. Look at this clip where I died to desync. And this one, 5 hours later. And then the next day, it's like, let me post these 2 more clips where I died to desync at battle state. It's like, bro, they know. They know. Just take it for what it is. Understand it's part of the game. Understand that you've done the same thing to some people. You've shot some people and they died behind a wall and they said the same thing. Like, we've all given and received decent kills at some point. So it's like, just you could get frustrated about it and be like, God damn desync, but, like, get on it, get over it. It's part of the game. Kit back up, go back in, and move on. And that's, like, my best advice, because I'm seeing so many desync complaining right now. It's like, dude, it's bad. It is bad. It is bad. Choose to play the game and just realize that it's the same for everybody. Everybody deals with it, or choose not to play the game. Just pick one. Like,
It's also like, yeah, you can also adapt too, because it's like, remember when inertia was first added, everyone realized quickly that with that you can still desync fight, but it's like you have to play that. It's literally a tactic with getting right-handed peek. Like, getting a right-handed peek, you're playing to desync. You're playing to kill that guy before he sees you.
right.
And it's shitty, but that's just how the game is.
Right.
I mean, that's it. Until they fix desync, if you want to start winning your fights, you got to start going to those right-handed peaks. How many times? Oh my god, I watched so many people on streams and they died. They left-hand peek, they died. Like, this game's bullshit. Like, I didn't see the guy. It's like, well, I hope you know, like, right-handed peek, and you give them a little bit of info, and they're like, that's stupid. I'm not playing this game. It's like, all right, well,
Right.
that's how the game's played right now.
Every game is
right
like
now.
that. Every game is like that. Every game, right hand always has an advantage. Almost every single game has that, because of the way that they set up cameras and the way that your gun is. You can't re-shoulder your gun. Right hand peeking is always going to have an advantage. But pair it with desync, and it's even more of an advantage. But yeah, if you could go, I have a left hand peek, switch to left hand, so your guy's not sticking all the way out to his right shoulders around the corner before your gun goes over the door frame, that would be different. And I would love to see it. I've been saying it for a long time. But that's why. You have to stick more of your body out than they do. So you see half of their head, because that's all they need to see, is where for you, to get your gun past the door frame, you need to lean all the way out to your right shoulder's exposed, and then all of your chest is exposed. And that's that's the way it is for the game. Guess what? That's the way it is in real life.
Yep.
That's the way that it is. And it's shitty. But if you're trained in combat situations, they're going to tell you, you shoot both eyes open, and you will take, if you need to, you will re-shoulder that rifle, and you will shoot it left-handed. It's different with a pistol, and I think that's one thing Tarkov doesn't do, is they don't do the pistol holds correctly. You can't left hand with a peek with a pistol, and technically you probably should, because again, you can reach your pistol around. But I mean, it's a game. I mean, how hard can we really get critical can we get with that? And then
Yeah, it's a video game. It's a video game.
It's a
very
video
technical
game.
Video game,
You
and
know,
that's like nitpicking.
you could
Oh my god, that's like.
You could change, but I will say this: I don't know if you ever knew this, but have you guys ever changed? You could pick what your dominant shoulder, what dominant side was in Counter Strike, and you could abuse people doing it. Because there were some people that used to abuse people because they ran left shoulder, and they would take left-hand peeks.
For their team, they would pick which side they would go to based on the corners they're peeking and the angles they're holding, so they can abuse that left-handed peek or right-handed peek, vice versa. You know?
Yeah, I remember that they'd have people that would. And some teams used to do that too with the left-hand shoulder guy, and they'd have him run one lane.
The fact that they're complaining about, people complain about desync. It's just like that's such a small issue, I would say, in like most video games, because I think every video game has desync, right? We can agree that every FPS online shooter has desync to an extent,
MMOs.
and probably I would say I've experienced so much worse desync than Tarkov. The fact that that's the complaint says a lot of good things about Tarkov. About BSG, what they're doing, because there's a lot of issues that you find in just in Call of Duty or Battlefield. Oh my god, we shouldn't even compare it because Battlefield was just such a bad launch.
Apex has it.
Well, Apex has it for sure. Apex has it.
The difference is I think in a lot of some of these other games like Call of Duty and Apex, I think TTK is a lot higher, so people don't complain about it as much because they're not as aware to how serious their desync might be for them, because you gotta hit every single bullet on a mag to kill somebody with a level 4 shield in Apex, where Tarkov it's a couple bullets.
Yeah, agreed.
Same thing with Call of Duty. Like if you got three shields in Warzone, still pretty close to TKing, but like time to kill time, but not as fast. There's mid wipe Tarkov's got to have the fastest TTK of any game. Land 2 bullets.
I'm gonna say this right now. Like, people complaining about desync right now. Just you wait until everyone gets M855A1 locked. I'm telling you, I seriously think that round is gonna be disgusting. This swipe, it's at 49 flush damage. Man, everyone who's getting Kappa right now, you can kind of see they're all running like HKs and M4s because they know. I'm sure they know the round is gonna be strong this swipe, unless they're finding people with level 5, level 6 armors. It's gonna be 2-shot every single time.
You guys heard it. Chat, clip it. Von's words. 855A1 meta. And then if it is, we all get to blame Vaughn.
Can't wait to run the HK again.
Oh my god, dude! Even last swipe with the recoil changes, it sucked at first. Couple games, couple scav kills, couple times in the hideout, you get used to it.
It just turned it from a mid-range gun to a closer range gun.
That's very
in
very
dorms.
True.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I never ran like a top-mounted sight or like a Bravo scope with it. You know what I mean? It was always just hollow. Because
it was it became a close range gun,
yeah.
and it was fine for that. The only thing that I don't like was how bad the MCX. They ruined the MCX. The MCX is supposed to be a close range gun, and it can't use it. You couldn't use it.
Didn't they? They buffed MCX this swipe, didn't they? The rounds, the blackout.
I do think they buffed the rounds, but the recoil was terrible. Even barrel stuffing was pretty bad.
Yeah.
But it was worse than the previous wipe because they changed the horizontal, and it already had enough. Horizontal.
Yeah, 100%.
And then it was like, dude, the thing was like circling around my target. I could have been trying to shoot a water buffalo and shot all around it.
When they first released the MCX, it had bad recoil. They nerfed it, or they buffed it to where it had better or more manageable recoil. It was still pretty bad.
Right.
Let's say that it's still pretty difficult compared to every other gun in Tarkov. Yeah. And then the recoil changes came last wipe. I don't even think I shot it once.
I tried to because the previous wipe I enjoyed the M6 and I knew it wasn't the best on recoil, but I just really enjoyed using the gun. I just really enjoyed the gun, and nobody else ran it.
I think you'll like it this wipe.
I'm hoping.
I think you'll like this wipe, man. The ammo's the fact that the ammo's so strong now. I think they made the pen about the same as BP, which is pretty strong.
Where it should be.
We already know. I think it already 2 taps in the chest. It has more flush damage than M855A1, which it should. I think it's gonna be the same thing. That's gonna be like the dorms Chad killer. That I don't think you'll see it in labs, but I think in like close range quarters, like people were running it in reserve, underground,
resort. People that are in resort.
Yep, resort 2. Oh, dude.
Yeah, I like that. I like hearing that. What's Amy, what's your favorite gun?
This wipe, last wipe, wipe before.
Last wipe and then so far this wipe.
I have to go to the restaurant. I'll be right back.
So last wipe, I favored a lot of the 7.62 guns, so like the SR-25. That it was like the SR-25. That was like my go-to gun. But then the previous wipe, before that, I did favor like the HK, like M4s, things like that, because I did like the M855 A1
Mhm.
over anything else. I think the other thing that I like to run, which I guess kind of like correlates with Vaughn's shotgun thing, was the double barrel. I really liked it, but I liked using the short barrel of the double barrel.
I know which one you're talking
So,
about. Yeah.
so I would do that. I would just get the gun from Jaeger, get the short barrel from Jaeger, and just swap it out, and then just run like you can run, buckshot, but I would run like AP. So just because I had it available. So,
Right.
um, um, I haven't like found a gun yet, and I guess just because I haven't unlocked a lot of the ammo still. So it's gonna be a slow progression to try and find it. But I'm really hoping that I can get back to like an HK or like something
M4.
with M855. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was definitely a DMR enjoyer last wipe. This wipe, I'm curious as to
Okay.
what it's going to be. Like, am I going to be able to go back to MCX or M4? I would love to run.
Mm-hmm.
Ideally, if MCX is good, I'll be running it. But then it'll probably. I don't know. I feel like it's going to go back to DMRs. I think I'm going to either be running MCXs or DMRs or M4s and DMRs.
I think towards the end of wipe, I started really liking the Ash 12. Also,
I ran the Ash 12 a lot last wipe. Most I've ever run it was Ash 12. Single fire Ash 12 and just click real fast and people fold in half. And I think if you get a hold of that early, I think it's gonna be real OP because of the way that they've slowed the game down. And if you get I had somebody, we ran into somebody the other day running the Ash 12 like already with PS12B. And I was like, yo, that's deadly. So I think that's crazy. But yeah, I'm interested to see if it's gonna go back to M4 meta or maybe it'll be both. Maybe people will be preference. It'll be mutant and the new 7.62 gun versus people that like M4 HK, which I'd be fine with that. If there's two different guns that totally work, and if DMRs are still viable, there's still people that want to use DMRs. That's great. That would be the most balanced. That would be the widest use of the game. Guns in the game that I can ever remember. And I do like the change that they did with M80. Moving it to Peacekeeper 3. As much as I hate it as a player, I think it's good for the game. I think it was Peacekeeper 2, M80, like, no.
RFB
too good.
already? Yeah, I rock an RFB only.
Right, yeah. It's too good. Too good,
Yeah, agreed.
I got an SR-25 the other day, and unfortunately, we ran into like a 5-man, or we ran into like a 3-man and a 2-man on woods. But it was like the first guy I did. It was like I had M80 before the change, and I was like, boom, guy was dead. He stood no chance, M80 is just too good.
I'll also call it now. You're gonna see a lot of vector gamers here soon. I mean, that's what with the AP 6.3 being available again. You might see some more SMGs. You might see more MP5s. You might see more MPXs. Why would you ever run those when you can run a Vector? I mean, the Vector with AP6.3, I don't care if you're even if you're wearing level 5 armor. Level 6 is a little different, but level 5 armor even it may take a little bit longer. It's still pretty quick. The time to kill just in the chest with level 5 armor is pretty quick.
Yeah, I think
Which I also like that though, because now, like I said before, like you got M855A1, you got DMR still. You're gonna be able to run mutants. You're gonna be able to run SMGs. You're gonna be able to run Ash 12. Like there's really like not meta. It's gonna be a point where like any gun is kind of viable. Like I mean, especially now. I mean, we'll see what's better, mutant or an M4 with M855A1 or an HK with M855A1. It's gonna be tough to see, but it's gonna be. I think we're getting. I think we're close to that. ideal like balance point right now.
I think Val is still bad, and I'm fine with that. Val should never be good ever again.
What's the recoil change? They changed the recoil, didn't they? They buffed it.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but it's just too good. I mean, the SP6 is too good. I mean, SP6.
I just want to unlock SP7, and then I'll be
or the
a happy
MP7
killer camper.
Yeah.
The
Yep.
SP7.
I love SP7 until I see some of the I suck at leg meta. I don't. It's not in my mind. It's not in my mind. I don't have the mindset to shoot legs. So I'll see a face shield and I'll try to black out their face shields so they can't see. just that's my option. That's my option. I usually die, but
I don't even know where this came from because I've never been like a leg meta like a Keter person at all. But I picked it up this wipe and it's been helping me, level and progress. And I'm just like, okay,
it's a good gun. It's a really good gun.
It's good.
Yeah, it's solid. It just even like the Keter B, the suppressed one, is my favorite. There's no recoil to it. As just the base gun, there's just no recoil. And I can't tell you how many guys I would kill who had like they had everything level 6 armor, level 6 or level 4 helmet, level 5 helmet, everything but the face shield. And that's all. That's kind of all you need with the Keter. It's amazing.
And what is it? Well, now you've got the Clin, right? It's got 100 more rounds per minute than the traditional Keter.
I don't like that one. That one's difficult. For me at least.
It's just drag it down, man. Just drag it down. No, but I mean it's good.
I want precision.
I killed a 3-man on woods with it, like last week. It was ridiculous. Would have made
it's nuts, man. It's a good gun.
Would have made
good gun.
Would have made Dunk proud on woods with the Keter.
She's the one that got me to run it too. Yeah.
Yep. I have my inspiration from her as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. That's awesome.
So.
That's also something you should have on this podcast at some point.
Yeah,
she's awesome.
Definitely put her on the list here. All right. We have any other questions from chat? New headset. Anybody tried the new headset yet?
I haven't experienced yet.
I think I'm wearing it in my PMC right now. I think it's like a GSSH. It's loud. I like it.
Yeah. That's what somebody...
I mean, especially with the perception changes, it's loud. I like it a lot.
Yeah, a lot of people said that it's the best because it's loud, but it also gives you the intricate things like that the Excels and stuff gave you. That's what somebody said to me. It's like it feels like it feels like running the Excels, but loud like the Geishas. 545 DMR. I literally bought it. I literally got it out of a drop and then said it's a 545 DMR. And then I vendored it. I don't know if anybody's tried it. As a DMR, no chance.
There's just so many AKs that like you can just make better for cheap. Like they all cost the same to make. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of the same with like a TX15 and like an M4. Why would you ever build a nice TX15 when you can build an M4? You're doing it because it looks cool. That's it, and it's cool to run.
Yeah.
But they cost relatively the same price to build and to get the same stats. It's the same price.
Yeah, and especially with the damage drop-offs on some of those. Like, so the TX is good because if you pull like the one right out of marked room, you can basically throw a scope on it and use it, and it's got low recoil, and you don't really care because that's a DMR anyway. But like 545 at a distance, the damage drop off on that is garbage. It's not good. The round is not fast. The damage drop off is pretty after 100 meters. Like you're not killing anybody if you hit them in the head. But it's just bottom line. Like the pen drop off and damage drop off are too much. And BS and Golnick after 100 meters, you can't one shot somebody in the head. And BT you can, but after 100 meters you drop below 440 pen, and when you're below 40 pen, I think it's like 37 or 38 pen, there's a chance that you're not even going to pen somebody's helmet. So again, you're not killing somebody in the head. At least with 855 or 995, I feel pretty confident out maybe to like 150 to 200 meters that I'm going to shoot somebody in their head and they're going to die now with the changes that they've made.
What's your favorite gun to snipe with? Or like take long range shots with, like medium to long range.
I would say DVL. DVL is my favorite sniper. Always has been. I've killed so many people with DVL. My longest DVL shot, I think, is 680. And then I killed somebody at 483 meters with the VPO 215 with 366 AP before.
Wow.
I shot them from Dome, and they were in the towers down by B buildings by the other marked room behind train. They were in that tower. I shot them from Dome with the VPO.
Wow. That's
ridiculous.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Do you guys know what the quietest gun is besides the VSS? It's not a DVL. It is an AKM with a PSB 12 suppressor.
Yeah, the double like layered donger suppressor looking thing.
That in my mind, you will never change it. Is the quietest gun in the game with BP rounds. Whatever you shoot out of it, you will never hear it. You can be like 30 meters from a guy. You can see them. You can throw a rock at them, and you will not hear them shooting at you. It's the most. I've said this every wipe. It's the most insane thing ever.
It is very.
That's
quiet.
like my go-to.
It is very quiet
gun for sniping.
It's really good. Like 150 meter range is pretty deadly. Especially when you have BP with it. So yeah, I mean it's pretty good, but I mean for pure sniping, I'm gonna go with the DVL.
Super long range shots, yeah, of course, but
I
think like practicality, that's my.
And
that's
if I'm
my
running like a
go-to,
DMR, I always like the SR25, and I like the SR25. SVDS, I don't know what it is about that gun. Trying to like long range shoot with that thing in theory and on paper it should be good, but dude, I can't kill shit with that thing. I don't know what it is. If it's just got too much recoil and I can't get back on the target, I swear to God, dude, I can't kill jack shit with the SVDS. Give me the SV98, I kill people at range, like if I have a good shot. But the SVDS, for some reason, I just think that bullets coming out of that gun go wherever the fuck they want. I have no idea where they go. It's one of those things. I don't know if you guys are big shooters, but like sometimes you just shoot a gun and it just shoots somewhere different because it's just a pile of shit. And that's an SVDS.
That's the SVD.
You know, they're like, oh, it's got
like
1.7 MOA. You're like, cool. Well, at 1,000 meters, I should probably still be able to hit somebody in the chest. Not in this game, dude. It says 1.7, but it really means 10.7. I swear to God.
It's gross.
It's not good.
The rounds are just so inconsistent, too. I mean, you have PS rounds, which can one tap in the chest. I don't think I've ever one tapped somebody in the chest with PS rounds.
Yeah.
And then you have SNB, which Penzol 6, but it still takes 2 shots. It's just like there's no, I think, really good round for that gun. To make me want to use that over a super low recoil, super low, it weighs it weighs half the weight of the SV98 or the SVD. It's just the gun's just not in a good spot right now.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Oh God, the SVDS task, bro. Oh, what is that, Punisher or something? Punisher for like 5 or something? Oh,
yeah,
God.
I can't remember what it is. Punisher, I don't want to do
it. You can't do it, and you can't do it on factory anymore too.
Can't do it on factory anymore. Yeah.
No.
High point, yeah. Thank God there's no high point guns in the game. Jesus Christ, PM pistol's bad enough. Somebody asked about the new rigs. You guys using new rigs at all? I feel like they're just reskinned other rigs that we already have for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, what else are they gonna do? I mean, they can't really do too much. They're obviously real rigs. They're not just like just making shit up.
Right,
like,
they're real rigs, but like
life.
I think one of the new ones
they can't really do too much with it.
Yeah,
you know?
One of the new ones has got the same exact slots as a Strand Hog, like exactly. You know, it's like,
yep.
Hey, with Strand Hog stats with a new skin over the top of it, which is fine. Like, I don't care.
With it, they're getting weird with like the new rigs where they're gonna have to like get like a 1 slaughter here and a 2 slaughter over here, and they're gonna be diagonal and they're gonna be touching to each other as an X formation. Like they're gonna have to get crazy with it, you know?
Yeah.
It's the only way they can do it.
Right.
They're at that point now.
Yeah, I would just like to see, because like all the new rigs are like low durability rigs. Like they're all like 45 durability. Like, great, I'm gonna get hit once with BP and I'm dead, guaranteed.
Oh, the new level 6 rig. Have you seen that one?
I saw it. It doesn't have huge stats, right?
Same thing. Yeah, I got one. And it was like 10 out of 35. I was like, cool.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not gonna repair this.
You're gonna repair it. It's gonna be a 27.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't wait to run this once.
Oh, I know, right?
Yeah,
Some
a
vendor
level 6
defense.
with 8 container size. Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm all set.
Yeah, I think it's so silly. It's 40
SVDS
armor
is
points, yeah.
BA. I mean, Panda for me, man. SVDS just doesn't. I just can't hit the broadside of a barn with that thing. I've tried. I just can't do it, and I think it sounds like garbage. It sounds like I'm shooting a pellet gun because of the weird metallic springy sounds it's got on it. 40 iron points ceramic material. I'm telling you right now, as soon as you can replace plates like they talked about, like actually replace the plates in your armor rig, I can't wait for that. And like, let me bring plates into the raid, and like maybe it takes me 20 seconds to swap it out, but dude, that'd be sick. Like, well, my armor's down to like 10 HP. Cool, I'm gonna pull this plate out of my backpack, which would be heavy, and it would be a thing that you'd have to like a burden to bring it, but to swap your plate out, because like, how many times have we all been there and like, oh, my armor rig's got 10 on it, and it was like a level 6. And you're like, I'm gonna throw it in a bush so I can repair it from insurance, and they're like, well, I'll grab this level 4 because it's got 60 durability on it. How long does it take?
When they added the armor repair kits, how many did you guys think that you also be able to use it in raid, and how cool that would be? Only to be disappointed.
They said it wasn't going to be able to on the podcast. Some of us actually read all of it.
Oh.
Yeah,
Wait, what?
I was probably drunk.
Yeah. In sub account, how long does it take to replace a plate in IRL? It depends on the carrier. I mean, usually the plates are.
It's not long.
It's not long. It's like literally like Velcroed in.
Velcro straps.
So like you lift the Velcro straps, you lift up. You might have to move some mags out of the way, and then it's like pull the other one out, drop the extra one in.
It's
Velcro
really
it
not
back
hard,
up.
Yeah.
It's not hard. Yeah. Right.
2 minutes front and back. I had to you do that. That's what taking it off too. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah. That.
Yeah, for sure. It's not going to take you that long. So like
There would be a time when you'd be vulnerable though, and you wouldn't have anything on because you'd have to take it off, or
so
somebody else would have to do it.
If you did like a 15 or 20 second plate swap, like aka like the same amount of time it takes you to do like a serve 12 kit, I think that'd be acceptable.
For one plate, yeah, I could get behind that. Or like, you spend longer packing. Even pack the 60 rounder from 0.
Right. Yeah.
In raid, we've all done that. We all sat there like, oh, I really want to use this. We've all done that. It takes time. We'll wait the time.
I mean, yeah, 2 minutes to do it under fire. I don't think you're going to be swapping plates out under fire. It's not Call of Duty. But, like, after a fight and you killed everybody and you swap your plate out, then go for it.
Yeah.
Animation for loading mags.
I'll swap your plate under fire and you died because of that. That's on you.
Never going to get an animation for loading mags. Doesn't DayZ have an animation for loading mags? And we can't get it in Tarkov. Imagine chat dumping all of your mags and needing to reload.
They're in the pot right now.
He is. The honey pot. Hey there, Pooh Bear. All right. I don't have really anything else. I mean, I'm sure there's more stuff, but I think we need to get more into wipe and experience some of the new guns and some of the bosses before we can really get into talking about them a lot more. So here's hoping to, next podcast we have a little bit more experience under our belts with that stuff. That being said, Vaughn, if you'd like to tell everybody where they can find you and how they can find you, that'd be great.
Yep. You guys can catch me at twitch.tv/Von Helsing. I stream every day minus Sundays and Thursdays. And I also upload to YouTube quite often now.
What time of day do you stream? Around what time?
Oh, sorry. Usually around 12 p.m. Western Western time.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Guys, links are in chat. Go make sure, if you're not following Vaughn, I don't know why you wouldn't already be following him, but go make sure you follow him. We've got his Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube links there in the chat. Please make sure you guys go give him a follow. Amy, how about you? When do you stream? And I'm going to post links for you in the chat. And if you have anything I'm missing, I'm sorry.
No, it looks good. So yeah, twitch.tv/AmyCakes. I'm typically on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, around 7 p.m. Central until it's about 1 a.m. max, like during the week, and Saturdays there's usually just like a long stream. So yeah. So
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you both for coming on. For those of you, I know Judge isn't here, but I'll do his shout out for him. You know, for the young Trump judge that's there. You guys can catch him on Twitch in the evenings on occasion. You can catch him on Twitter and TikTok. We'll give Judge a follow on both those platforms. He's also on Facebook, which he was getting away from Facebook, but now he's back streaming on Facebook. So you can also look him up, Judge on Facebook as well. Judge, typically, it's summer. He's living that dad life, so he's not streaming every day, but what he does normally is he'll stream mornings and evenings. Eastern Standard Time. He's normally on around 8 in the morning till about 12, 1 o'clock, maybe a little bit later. And then he gets back on around 4 to 5 p.m. until about 8 p.m. During the week when he decides to, and his days off are random. Now, for me, after I did somebody else's shout out poorly, I'm sure, you guys can find me right here on this channel, and my schedule is I don't know right now. I'm in the process of coming up with a new schedule because it's summertime, and I've been experimenting with double streams, morning and evening, and I've liked how that feels. You know, and then I don't know what my days off are going to be, so those are to be determined. And if you guys are new here and you haven't followed me yet, you can follow me on any of those links: Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. If you guys have a TikTok, I'd appreciate it if you give me a follow on TikTok. I'm approaching 10,000 followers on TikTok, which is kind of like a big initial number on TikTok. It's like the big number. It's like 1,000. 10,000, and then what, like 100,000? I don't know. Vaughn, how many millions of followers do you have on TikTok? I'm just kidding.
Oh, dude. I post one clip. That's it.
Yeah. So, but if you do have TikTok, I appreciate the follow. So I am going to continue on, but I'm going to end my recording. Oh my God. So I'm going to play a little bit of Tarkov here. If either one of the guests wish to join me, or if you want to go and do your own thing, that's totally up to you guys. And that's about it. Till next time. We will have a podcast again next month. Keep an eye on my Twitter. I will be posting who's going to be on and what day it's going to be on. It's probably going to be at either the first or second Saturday of August. And we'll be talking probably more about Wipe, and hopefully probably more about like the new guns and the boss mechanics and stuff, and whatever else happens in between Tarkov between now and then. And maybe we'll take a deep dive in a couple of these older maps and talk about what we'd like to see improved on some of those maps, like maybe Reserve or something like that. So that's what you can expect. Guys, thanks for watching the Tarkov Talk podcast. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. And if you did, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for future podcasts. Or you can follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/dadlife, to catch the podcasts live.